Bay 970 WFLA Talkin' Fishing going to be here until 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, only until 8 o'clock. Our main man behind the glass, Derek Dubose, going to keep us rocking and rolling here this morning. His will be the first voice you hear. If you give us a call this morning, your questions, comments, fishing reports, always welcome. 1-800-969-9352. Got a lot of stuff to cover today. Obviously, we're rolling in a little bit of chilly weather, so we're going to dive into weather. We're going to dive into fishing. We've got some more awesomeness going on with our friends from the Save the Pelican psychopathic group, so we're going to deal with that. And then we've got a special guest this morning. We decided to turn this thing into kind of a party, and our new friend from Abyss Battery. I was telling you last weekend that Abyss Battery is on board. We're super excited to have him. And joining us from Abyss Battery this morning is Ryan Wiggins. Ryan, good morning, brother.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. Great to have you, man. Super excited. We got a lot of stuff to cover. The lithium battery craze, this explosion in the lithium battery world is pretty incredible. So we're going to be able to learn more about what makes them tick, what makes them go. It's kind of Ryan's specialty. So that's going to be kind of cool to me. Lighter, more powerful, longer lasting, all that stuff that you get with the lithium batteries today that I don't understand because, well, quite frankly, you guys know that I'm not all that bright, so I don't get any of that stuff. So I got to have a guy like Ryan around to explain why does that do that? Why? How come you can pick that up with like two fingers and a regular battery? I needed to get a cart. So there's a lot of cool stuff to discuss there. How are you this morning, D?
I'm doing good. Surviving. It's been a long few days. We're right into seafood festival down there at John's Pass, so it's been a little chaotic around John's Pass, but a lot of fun. And we did a crawfish boil. We were selling a lot of seafood yesterday, so just busy with seafood festival. Looking forward to day 2 today. Should be hopefully a little less windy. Yesterday, tying down our tent because we have to keep the seafood covered and the food prep area covered, so we had like pop-up tents. I was nervous all day.
I'll bet.
I had vats of ice and 5-gallon buckets of ice and coolers full of ice tied to the tent. It was interesting, but today should be a little less windy, but still pretty chilly. It's a nice day to walk around John's Pass for sure, protected from the wind, and enjoy some fresh seafood. They have 3 concert stages, so wow. Lots of live music, lots of good vendors, and great food.
Good vibes.
Yeah, cold beer and plenty of good times. So
I don't think it's going to be a great couple of days, these 2 days here. Now, I was seeing we were still going to have like small craft advisory wind levels.
Yeah, today's not. I was being a little facetious.
Oh, okay.
I was being hopeful. It is going to be very.
So you can't do that. You're like the weather guru here on Saturday mornings. You can't just, you know what I'm saying?
I can't be hopeful. Okay,
yeah, well, you can be hopeful, but we got to be realistic for our peeps, man.
Yeah, it is going to be. I think it's going to be less windy than it was yesterday. So
okay.
I think
it had to be blowing at my house last night. It had to be blowing 30 plus.
It was.
It was getting it.
It was, and it was yesterday afternoon as well, and it cooled down yesterday so fast. It was wild. I mean, I went to
it
work
dropped like a rock, didn't it?
Yeah, I went to work in T-shirt and shorts, and by 3 o'clock, I was like, "Oh man, I don't know if I can handle this anymore." It was crazy how fast it got cold yesterday.
How long is this thing going to last? I mean, it looked like it was going to stay windy through Tuesday.
It should be calming down through the day today. Tomorrow's supposed to be pretty darn nice as far as wind is concerned. It's still going to be pretty swelly. If you're nearshore or offshore fishing, it's going to be pretty bumpy through Sunday. But the wind will definitely calm down here tonight. Then Monday looks like the best day. Almost flat calm there Monday, and not much wind. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday, we get a little bit of a south wind. We got a pressure gradient, some pressure boundaries kind of fighting over the area. So it's going to cause some increase in wind there midweek. And then we get another cold front there at the end of this coming weekend, it looks like. But remember, too far in advance, it really gets hard to forecast. So I only try to look like 3 or 4 days out. But as of this week, as of right now, it seems like it's going to be a windy, kind of nastier weekend, and then calming down really nice for the start of the work week, and then getting a little nasty midweek.
Yeah,
but we're coming up on that. I mean, we're on the backside of that new moon, I believe.
Well, you know what's weird too is
Oh no, we're coming up to the new moon. That's what it is.
We should be approaching.
Yeah, so the currents are moving slow now. So Monday's the best weather day, but not a lot of water movement.
And it's going to be tough right after this front too, because this front's going to be a little bit of a hard punch. It's interesting because just yesterday, as I was using my wonderful app, it was still calling for Sunday to be 20 to 25 mile an hour winds.
You should delete that app.
Apparently. Yeah. Wind finder, not so great.
I would suggest everybody listening, a lot of people don't realize there's a Wind Finder Pro. It's like $3. It's not a lot of money.
No,
and then you swipe to the right and you get that Pro forecast, and it gives you hourly, and it only shows you 3 days. I really like that because then you're only looking at 3 days, and it's almost always more accurate because you're not looking too far into the future, and that hourly forecast is so nice. So you got to remember, on the app, you should swipe to the right, and it gives you what's called the super forecast on Wind Finder. Windy's pretty good too. I always like looking at Wind Finder, Windy, NOAA, and kind of getting an average, but never looking more than 3 to 4 days out. Past that, it just gives you an idea of what might happen, but it can change drastically.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. So back to you, Mr. Wiggins. We got to talk about this. So I get on the phone with.
Way to wait 13 minutes.
No, I can't
awesome.
do it. I can't do it. Yeah, we got to dig into this. This is crazy. So obviously, I introduced Ryan. He's with Abyss Battery, and I'm super excited to have them on. Nick Vassaleros, did I say that right?
Yes.
Vassaleros. He is the owner over there, the CEO, the founder, great guy. He sends me to Ryan as soon as I start picking on him for podcasts and radio time and all that. So Ryan's the voice here for Abyss Battery, which is great. So him and I get on the phone. Ryan is a veteran, a Navy veteran, which is great. Thank you for your service. But so I tell him, oh, yeah, I was in the service too. Right away he says, what do you do? So I'm like, well, what did you do? I was like, egress, worked on injection seats. And I'm thinking, that's kind of cool. And then I said, what did you do? And Ryan says, I don't know, dude. I was a minesweeper. Like, underwater frogman dude is like Ryan. Like, that's crazy, bro. Like, we got to dive into this job description here before we get too far. Like, that almost, and when I mentioned it to Dylan, Dylan's like, Navy SEAL? Not a SEAL?
No, I wasn't a SEAL.
All right, but just underwater demolition like crazy frogman dude?
No, not really. I played a lot of underwater rugby with the SEALs when I was in Bahrain. But
What? How are you going to just glaze over that?
Oh, yeah. It's just a little hobby we had.
Yeah,
First of all, where's their water in Bahrain?
we had a pool on base. Well, Bahrain's an island.
I got you.
It's an island off the coast of Saudi.
My geography in the Middle East is very poor.
Yeah, Bahrain is actually, at the time, it was the most densely populated country in the world.
Huh.
Everyone lives vertically. It's a wild town.
Really?
Wild island,
Yeah.
I guess you could say. But yeah, I wasn't in the water with fins, swimming around looking for stuff. Our job was to drive through minefields and to lead other people through minefields or clear minefields. So spent a lot of time looking at the what's down there. I was in charge of what we call a variable depth sonar. It was about a 20,000-pound yellow egg that we lower out of the bottom of the ship on a couple thousand feet of cable, and we use that sonar, that variable depth sonar, to get into the thermoclines where mine light contacts might be. And that's why it's variable depth, because sonar can bounce off of temperature differences in the ocean. So if you got a mine light contact that's 300 feet deep, your sonar's on the surface, there's a pretty good chance, depending on your frequencies, that you're actually going to be bouncing sonar off of that thermocline. You're not going to even see what's down there. So that was my job, driving through minefields, leading tracks. So if there's an aircraft carrier strike group, you got a carrier, you got a frigate, you got a destroyer, you got a submarine, you got a boat full of Marines that needs to get somewhere, we go in front of them and lead a track, and they follow the track in.
Like, I don't think I will ever like that. Just like completely wrecked my entire military career. Like, I thought I had a cool job, man.
You
I
drank
mean,
beer in Germany, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I played a lot of basketball, and played for the base team, and traveled a little bit, drank some beer. I mean, I thought, here, I had a cool job, dude. That's crazy, bro. What a cool job that is.
I mean,
man.
at least
cool.
you got to travel. Like the 3 days after I graduated underwater explosive school, I mean, I was on an airplane to the Middle East. I was there for 28 months almost constantly. So,
Wow.
Yeah, there's that. I did miss most of the Middle Eastern stuff. I volunteered to go when it first got cranked up in Kuwait there, and we just never, by the time that all the crazy stuff happened, I was already long gone. So, and nothing about that desert. You've heard me say it for years when I was talking about our men and women service members, both here and abroad. I've talked about it a million times. The kids that are doing service now that have to spend time in that godforsaken place over there in that desert, God bless them, because there ain't nothing good about that place. Zero good about that place. So all you guys that did your time over there, God bless you. No doubt about it. Good stuff. So we got our frogman, Ryan Wiggins, in here. He's just going to be the frogman for me forever now. He's just every time I look at him, I'm going to see Scuba Steve. Now, is that where you got your diving thing from?
so that's the thing. Like we didn't dive. Like
just all surface stuff.
Right. We would bring on EOD teams, divers if we need to, but putting divers in the water is actually a pain in the butt.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in the Persian Gulf.
Yeah,
the visibility's low. The salinity's very high.
How's the fishing over there?
There's a lot of fish out there.
Really?
Where we were out of in Mina Saman, Bahrain, every boat coming in was a small boat just packed with fish.
No kidding.
That's crazy.
What kind of fish? What was the cool fish?
I have
Do you
no
remember?
idea,
Okay.
but it's like anywhere else you go in the world, there's fish that look like grouper. They're just not called groupers. There's
Right.
fish that look like kingfish and king mackerel. They don't look like they don't call them kingfish. Slight color variations.
So cool.
That is cool.
The current's really strong over there too.
This is going to be an interesting show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. Ryan Wiggins joining us from Abyss Batteries. We've got Captain Mike and Big Pine Key on the phone lines, taking your questions, comments, fishing reports as well. 1-800-969-9352. If you're watching us on the stream, we welcome you to the Real Animals Facebook page and the Hubbard's Facebook page as well. Wishing everybody a beautiful Saturday morning. Thank you for joining us. Phone lines are open. Light them up. We'll be back.
And the commercials are live streamed as well.
Yeah.
You're gonna get me in trouble with stolen valor if you call me the frogman.
Okay. I don't want to do that, but
I got a bunch of friends that are still active on the SEAL team.
oh, okay. I got a very dear, I shouldn't say we're dear friends, but a friend of mine that was an original member of SEAL Team 6.
Cool. Yeah, I was actually I was part of CTF 151. We were out there when we got Captain Phillips.
Oh, okay.
I was doing a mission in a place that we weren't supposed to be. And when we were done, we retasked to go out and support them, just in case bodies fell in the water or something.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that was a fun day.
Yeah.
That day, Easter 2009, I think.
Crazy.
It's called Real Outdoors, right?
Real animals.
Real Animals
Oh, Real Animals.
or the Hubbard's Marina.
Or Hubbard's Marina, either one. I didn't bring my damn thing again like a dick.
You want my iPad?
I can pull it up on my phone. I'm such a dick. You're a dick.
How long is the break?
It's pretty.
Couple
it's like
minutes.
3 minutes, 4
Hubbard's
minutes.
Marina.
Yeah, either one that should be live.
We're still live.
Yeah,
We're
we
live
are.
on the stream.
We're live on break.
We're live on the stream. They can hear us. We talk all kinds. This is the show within the show.
I was gonna say you didn't tell me because I'm gonna start swearing.
No, you
Yeah,
can't.
Facebook Live is we don't get kicked off or get.
I don't
fined.
ever swear.
I don't know these rules.
Not on the air.
You guys
Just
gave me a
can't.
microphone.
Can't do it. Can't do it on the air.
Yeah, on the radio, it's we can get fined and
Yeah,
stuff and
you
lose our show, but on Facebook, just frowned upon. But Mike doesn't care.
I'm sitting here spouting out classified information.
Now we're going to have a really short, this next segment's going to be like 4 or 5 minutes, and we go to the bottom of the hour. We'll go back into commercials, and we'll come out with like a 15, 17-minute segment, and then the show will fly by.
John Rivers said, when are we going to see a Jack Wagon logo? They could be used on how people park and take up the boat ramp. They should make stickers.
Yes.
So you could tag them on vehicles.
Well, I'm going to get on that. We need a Jack Wagon logo. Yeah. Jack Wagon of the Week logo.
That would be awesome.
We should get shirts and hats done, and like when whoever's Jack Wagon of the Week, we send them a shirt and a hat. Congratulations, you were this week's Hubbard's Marina Real Animals Jack Wagon of the Week.
Congratulations.
That's right. Ta-da! You're a winner.
Everybody can't see me in the video. That's perfect.
Well, we'll get your FaceTime over here when we're done. Lithium batteries, so crazy.
Do you have our batteries yet?
What's that?
Did we get you some batteries yet?
And Nick and I talked about it, but my new boat is supposed to be done. It's supposed to be done the end of February, early March, but it ain't gonna be.
You're wearing a Contender hoodie. You got a new Contender coming?
I'm sponsored by Contender. I get a new one every year.
Sweet.
And I've got an East Cape coming as well. I'm 8 months out. I just put in my.
You are getting the micro skiff. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, they're installing some of our batteries right now in a 44 down there.
I've got a 32. We got a 32 ST coming too. That Jordan Strawn and I got one that we're grouped up on. It'll be here. It was supposed to be here March too, but we'll see. So yeah, we'll have Abyss everywhere. I got the logo on the new truck wrap. I just need a couple days. I got to have 2 days. I'm without my truck for 2 days. I got to find 2 days to get it down to Sign Zoo and get the new truck wrap put on.
You do any spear fishing or you just pole fishing?
Yeah, I'm just a pole fisherman. I
like spear fishing. It's fun.
I had a great visual probably 10 years ago. Mama T over at Jim's Dive Shop. Do you know Teresa Hadaway?
I do. I used to manage Infinite Descent right down the street from her.
Okay.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that place.
So,
I was in there a lot.
You look familiar.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Mama T. So I was like, man, it would be very cool to integrate diving into the show.
Cool.
I couldn't. My sinuses wouldn't let me do it. It was crazy.
Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. Putting a big shout out to our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. Whether you need a shingle, metal, tile, or a flat roof, Affordable Roofing Systems is your safest choice for repairs or replacements. They're defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and have a personalized and professional approach to doing business. Call Affordable Roofing Systems today at 1-888-397-ROOF for your free estimate, or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Don't forget, there's a Ring Power Career Fair going on today from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you are looking to make a career change, if you're mechanically inclined, if you're an auto mechanic, certified welder, machinist, CDL driver, if you got a strong work ethic, I'm telling you, I've been working with the Ring Power people a long time, and they are phenomenal people over there. So they're going to be out there at the Tampa facility today, again, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information or to pre-register, visit ringpower.com/job fair. Let's go to the phones here. Our guest again this morning is Ryan Wiggins with Abyss Batteries. They are a lithium battery giant, a new partner of the Real Animals here on Saturdays, Sundays, and the TV show. So if you've got questions about lithium batteries, today is going to be the day. Ryan's the expert. We're going to dig in and pick his brain a little bit because I got all kinds of questions, just like most of you do on this whole lithium battery thing. So we can dive into that whenever you guys want to. Let's, again, go to the phones. Let's check in with the beautiful Florida Keys. Let's go down to Big Pine Key and Captain Mike. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, morning, guys. How y'all doing this morning?
Good, buddy. What's up? Talk to us.
Oh, not much. The wind is honking.
Honking.
I mean honking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I called my clients a couple days ago, and I told them I'd give them a 24-hour notice, so I was able to give them about a 36-hour notice. Today isn't going to happen because it is just absolutely blistering down here.
How cold is it? Is it cold down there?
Good day to work on the boat. What's that?
Is it cold?
It's 58 degrees.
Yep.
So comparatively speaking, and when it's in the 50s down here, I know it's cold back in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She's a little chilly.
It was 48 this morning.
Is that what you had, 48?
We're getting a lot of mutton snapper right now on the bottom. Big mangoes, big mangoes, some 6 to 8 pound mangoes, and
nice.
The troll. When you can get some trolling in, it's been wahoo and blackfin tuna, and a ton of sailfish. We actually, the last trip I had before this front came in, we hung 16 sailfish in an 8-hour day, and it was absolutely probably one of the best sailfish days I've ever seen in my life. It was fantastic.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool.
16 sailfish in a day trip.
Nothing wrong with sails.
As far as your guest today, Ryan, I believe his name is.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Mike talking last week about you being able to possibly get a letter from Yamaha to maybe start to let people use your type of batteries, use lithium batteries on their engines. Well, if you could do it with Yamaha, I'd sure appreciate it if you could do it with Mercury. Because two things. I know I use lithium on my spot lock trolling motor. I use it on my electronics and stuff. I use it on the stuff I can. And obviously you get better performance. But in my case, being a big offshore boat, anything to lighten my boat and get just better mileage, better gas mileage is wonderful. And I got to tell you something, as soon as all these engine companies start, building their motors, their engines, and saying, can we use lithium batteries in the application of this brand new engine, all this new technology, I'm telling you, the battery market, it's exploded, the lithium battery market, but I think it's going to go even more nuts. But all this new technology in these engines, drive-by-wire and everything, and I have all the updated technology, they want what they want right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, I'm up against the clock here, Mike, so we appreciate you, brother, as always. Great call. Stay safe down there in the Florida Keys, and keep us up to speed on what's going on, all right? We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, guys. You guys have a great day. God bless. Tight lines from the Florida Keys. Take a vacation.
See you, buddy.
Good job, Michael. Captain Mike Perry there. Ryan Wiggins joins us from Abyss Battery. Like Captain Mike said, the lithium battery thing is absolutely mind-blowing. It's going absolutely crazy. We're going to dive into that on the other side. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. 1-800-969-9352. Light them up. We'll be back. Did you see Nick?
Yeah.
Nick on the post.
What's up, Pelican friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually what he was just touching on was a pretty big subject. My mind just went to a place. I was like, oh god, here we go.
Traffic and weather, top and bottom.
Well, and I had mentioned it just in my conversations about Abyss last week, just that I was really impressed when, because I'm like, listen, bro, I can't do it. I'm like, and I'm not like dealer sponsored. I'm factory sponsored. So I damn sure can't be playing around with my Yamaha stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and when I mentioned that to Nick in the Zoom meeting, he didn't even blink. He's like, if I can get you a letter from Yamaha that says you're good to go, will you do it? I'm like, yeah.
I don't know about a letter, but what I'm working on right now is directly with the engineers who are preparing to change things up.
Good.
Because there's a little bit that goes into the engineering behind the Yamahas as to why they're so strict. They used to say no AGMs.
Yeah. That's what they got us for with our 425s. Is we had AGMs and they were like, nope.
Yeah,
take those out.
Honestly, AGMs, there's absolutely no reason to run an AGM battery unless you need to mount them sideways for some reason. They are inferior compared to lead acid. They're a newer technology.
Yeah.
So the only benefit is you can mount them sideways. But if you run an AGM battery down past 50%, you kill it like it's dead. You gave it a massive traumatic brain injury. It's never going to function the same. Lead acid you can abuse a little bit more. It's old technology, they're heavy, but at the same time, if I couldn't use lithium,
a really really good salesmen talked us into the AGMs. And we used them for like a year and a half, and we ended up getting rid of them.
Yeah, you're gonna, especially on trolling motor use, they're not designed for that kind of usage.
Mm-hmm.
So they're great in like all of our Baja trucks. I used to race the Baja 1000 and stuff. Like they're great because you don't have water bouncing around. You know, you're doing 130 miles an hour with 3-foot deep whoops. You don't have to worry about your battery.
So you've done Baja racing, spearfishing,
Mine
minefields,
sweeping.
Yeah, TJ
underwater
tells me,
rugby.
hey, TJ tells me I'm a guy that people love to hate.
Yeah,
So
you're getting there with me. You're getting there.
Dude. So how about this? I'll get him there. Watch this. I'm gonna get him there. I'm gonna get you there in like 2 seconds. So watch this. So I'm texting with him yesterday afternoon, and he says, "Do I need to bring a battery or anything?" I'm like, "Nope." He said, "Okay, I'll leave the batteries and the AR-15s at home."
Damn it.
I'm like, that's what I said. I said, "Oh, you can bring the ARs. We love some guns."
kind of cool SBR. Just built. I'm waiting on the suppressor.
Nice. And you already got the stamp for it?
No.
Yeah, that's the B word right now.
It's
just
going
waiting for all that.
It's going quicker. Everyone doing about 90 days right now.
Well, what this new thing coming down from ATF is it seems like all of us are going to have SBRs here soon if they pass that new legislation on the braces.
We'll see. Now they're saying that the buffer tube can be used as a stock in some situations, and and folding arm braces, whatever. I was working in gun shops as a gunsmith and stuff during the Great Gun Scare of 2013. We saw this stuff every month.
Yeah, new stuff coming down the pipe.
Don't worry too much.
Yeah, until it
And
happens.
you're in Florida anyways.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
For now, we're good.
Well, Florida's kind of strict about some things, like binary triggers.
They're weird about ammo too.
Yeah.
You can't buy any specialty 12 gauge ammo down here.
Yeah,
like
I know.
bird bombs or the ones that shoot fire.
Dragon's breath.
Yeah, I used to love those things.
Yeah, me too.
We shot them at each other.
Yeah, those things are awesome. Shot them at each other. That's awesome.
You're good. That's beautiful.
Doesn't Dragon's Breath have birdshot in it though? It has projectile.
We weren't like shooting like at each other's bodies, shooting each other's heads. But
Yeah.
I think it's one
better.
major projectile, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think it's got buckshot in it. I don't think
Listen, even if Abyss was like, yeah, we don't really want to partner with you, I'd want to hang out with them guys anyway. I just want to hang out there, dude. I just want to hang out in that place, dude. Seriously. I just want to see what shit happens next, bro.
I used to come stop by the office sometime and come meet my dog Doug.
Doug? Have
Yeah.
a dog named Doug?
Yeah.
His name is Doug.
I named it after General Douglas MacArthur, the worst Army general in U.S. history.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, that's a
He's a
great.
cool dog. He used to live on a sailboat with me.
That's a great dog name. It's my dog, Doug.
Have you ever seen the movie Up?
Yeah.
That's the dog's name.
Oh, really?
But it spells it D-U-G.
It's so great, dude.
I've always wanted to name, I got a Doberman. And I wanted to name him Steve so bad.
Yeah.
But my wife wouldn't go for it. She didn't think it was as funny as I did.
Human names for animals is the best.
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
lizard for like 19 years. His name was Carlos. I named him after Carlos Hathcock, the sniper in Vietnam.
Wasn't he the one that had the most kills?
Not the most. There were a couple guys that had more. I believe his thing was 98 confirmed kills or 91. But
Yeah.
he had the longest confirmed
That's
kill
what it
for a
was.
long time.
Yeah.
And then,
They talk about him in sniper school still.
yeah, oh for sure. It's a cool book if you have a chance to read it. The missions that he did were pretty legit.
Yeah. What's
one
his
day-
book name?
I think it's just called Marine Sniper or One Shot, One Kill, maybe. I think it's just Marine. It's like an autobiography, but with an author. But I think it's called Marine Sniper. But one of his last missions, he crawled across the field for like 4 days. Went across an anthill, had a snake in his face, so he could take one shot of his general and scooted out. And he actually he was on his way out of Vietnam, and an APC, an armored personnel carrier, hit a landmine on his way out. He was phasing out of the war. Hit a landmine. He went into the APC and pulled out Marines, like 3 Marines that were burning alive, basically. Burned his whole hands and stuff. And I can relate, because I burned 20% of my body. It's all skin from my hand.
Oh, wow.
But
He actually ended up dying of Parkinson's and MS. That's crazy.
Jesus. My life is so meaningless.
Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. Got a couple of programming notes here before we dive into this longer segment. Tuesday, January 31st, we're going to be at Bartow Ford for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation. Captain Ryan Rickard is going to be our guest. We're going to be there from 6 to 8 p.m. We're going to have food from our good friends at Silver Ring Cafe there in Riverview. They're going to be serving up some Cubans and some stuffed potatoes and some deviled crab, and Dylan's not going to be there.
No.
But it's going to be really good.
I'll be in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at a golf council meeting.
That's all right. All right. Go do that important stuff. We're going to give away Bull Bay rods and Ingo coolers and stuff like that to everybody that shows up. So,
yeah, I wish I could be there for the deviled crab. And Ryan's pretty cool, too.
yeah, Ryan Rickard. Captain Ryan Rickard, he might know a thing or two about catching fish. So,
The only man that can stop the ICAST building and erupt in full-on clapter.
Clapter. That's great. We've also got a boat show this week coming up. The St. Pete Boat Show is the 19th through the 22nd of January. I'm going to be in the contender booth. It's booth 214 to 218 because we got big boats in there. So we got a big booth. That's over at the Duke Energy Center, the McAfee Theater Yacht Basin. I'm going to be there 12 to 3 or so on Thursday. Come on by and see me. We got a new dealer there. The Boyles, Stephen Boyle and his lovely family are opening a contender dealer right on St. Pete Beach. And great people. They're killing it. Lots of good boats. The new 26 contender bay is going to be there. They had one built, so that's going to be at the show. So I've seen it. But I haven't touched it yet, so I'm looking forward to getting over there to the show and checking that out. Again, that's Thursday the 19th from 12 to 3. I will be there. Stop by and say hello. So Ryan Wiggins, our guest this morning from Abyss Battery. Real quick, I want to dive into, so when they say, I'm trying to, you'll figure this out real quick, Ryan. I'm not all that bright. So I mean, you know, that's kind of the big theme here, lighter, more powerful. How much lighter are we talking? For the listeners, I mean, what's a weight difference between a regular lead-acid battery and a lithium battery of the same size?
So like a Group 27, let's say it's pretty standard size. Group 27s and Group 31s are pretty common on boats. A lead-acid battery, Group 27, is going to be 65 pounds, I think. And ours is about 30.
Okay.
And the bigger you go, the more weight savings you see as well. So you go up to like the 8Ds,
right?
Like our 12 volt, 350 amp hour batteries, an 8D. It's just under 70 pounds, and an 8D lead acid is, I think it's about 200.
So, and what would you use that battery for?
An 8D. A lot of the bigger boats have them as starting batteries, believe it or not, especially the large diesels. We'll use them in a series configuration to make 24 volts.
We've got 4 on each side on the party boats.
You have 4 8Ds?
Or 2 on each side, sorry. 4 total, yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of lead.
Yeah. They're heavy,
but
and it's not fun.
So what they're using our 12 volt 350s right now on some of the bigger boats with the like the Freemans and stuff. You know, guys that are running 10, 12 live well pumps. They're running Seakeepers,
right?
Stuff like that. Those are huge consumers.
Sure.
So I actually, when I lived on a sailboat for a while, that's how I got this job. I filmed a YouTube channel living on a sailboat, sailing around with my ex, and I bought some of Nick's batteries, and I lived off of those. Just the 2 batteries with 4 solar panels. I had an electric stove, electric oven, electric desalination unit, water maker, and I did that all with 2 8Ds. At the time, they were 300 amp hour batteries. Now they're 350.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you got space for it, I mean, power for days. You figure you can take a lithium battery all the way down to 5%. Your voltage is constant. You're not going to get that voltage drop, that power drop you see in like a lead acid battery. When your golf cart starts dying and you start going slow, you're like, okay, it's time to go home. That doesn't happen with lithium.
You just stop going.
You stop going. Yeah, 5%. I mean, you'll get a warning on your phone that your battery's about to die.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you do with Abyss.
There's
right?
an app. There's an app for that.
There's an app for that. Yeah, the Abyss app, as we talked about last week. abyssbattery.com is the website. That's ABYSS battery.com.
Your golf cart won't slow down. Your battery will just text you. Go home.
Hey, moron, go home. Yeah. We're starting to get a little low, dog, and you're a little far from the barn. You better giddy up. That's a beautiful thing. Let's slide into the phones here. Let's check in with our freshwater guru. Let's go to Ron at Ron's Tackle Box out in beautiful Lake Alfred. Ronnie, how's the fishing, brother? This cold front's can only help, I would assume.
It's going to help tremendously with the specs.
Nice.
The colder it gets, it seems like it's the better.
The happier they are.
Bass fishing also, been a lot of beds sighted this week.
Okay.
A lot of small bucks on them, but it's going to transition real quick. So there'll be a lot of bedding fish coming up next month or so. But fishing been great. Nothing real big on the bass yet. Maybe about 6 pounds, about the biggest this week that I've heard of.
Okay.
Could be more, but that's all I heard.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, that's, again,
you know,
that's a good
I tell
fish.
you something, and that's all I know.
Right. Yeah, but you're the guru.
Things going on out there.
You're the guru, though. So you know
I've had
everything.
people calling me and say, "Oh, man, I caught an 8-pounder." I said, "Well, I didn't know."
Right. You didn't call me and tell
How do I
me.
know?
Right.
Gotta let me know. Give me a call or stop by. Show me a picture.
I like it.
But fishing's been great. A lot of variety of fish. A lot of bluegill, shellcracker mixed, speckled perch. The bass fishing is picking up tremendously. A lot of transition. If you're fishing for bass, fish along the shoreline, not towards the shoreline.
Okay.
Got a better chance of getting the fish because they're going in and out of the bank staging.
Amen to that.
That makes
Good
sense.
opportunity to find more fish.
Makes sense to me. I like it. I'm gonna guess what's the bait of choice this week?
Well, the booyah, lipless crankbait, the royalty color. I'm telling you, man. It's,
I have one
coming here
now.
buying them 6, 8 at a time.
I
Well,
have
we
one.
both have one now.
That's right. I have one.
Bobby Woodard bought us those for Christmas, so we're very excited, Ron.
From your
I
store.
gave you one a few years ago. I gave you a couple of them.
And I used them and caught fish already. So now I had to get a
There
new
you
one.
go.
But this is the first time I've had one. They're very pretty. I like the royalty purple.
Oh, they're pretty. It's something that you normally wouldn't buy because of the color. You think, they don't like that. They love that color.
Well, we're about to find out if a snook will like it.
Keeping it in stock. All my wholesalers, I buy every one they have
That's awesome.
because they just can't get them.
Yeah, that's good stuff for sure. Good stuff. Tell everybody how they can find you out there, Ronnie, if they want to come out there and catch some fish.
All right, I'm at 380 South Lake Shore Way, which is 1792 in Lake Alfred. Phone number 863-956-4990. Give me a call or stop by. And there has been a lot of people coming in that hear us on the radio. So there's people out here in Lake Alfred listen to us.
God bless them. God bless them.
Yes.
Every time I hear that, every time you tell me that, I think, man, we're up to like 10 listeners. So
Yeah,
good.
you can't beat it.
No, you can't beat it. It's the best. Get up at 4:30. We got 10 listeners. Woo! Killing it.
Yes.
You're the
4:30
man.
is not bad.
All both of them.
You're the man, Ronnie. We do appreciate you, brother. As always, have a great Saturday and enjoy your Sunday off, my friend.
You too. Thank you.
All right, partner.
See
Be
you,
good.
buddy.
Talk to you next week. Good stuff. Ronnie's been doing that freshwater report for us forever. God bless him. Such a great guy. Great store.
So nice.
Yeah, he's really a nice guy. Really good people. Wants everybody to catch fish. So going back to lithium batteries, for somebody looking to make the change, is there anything that they should know if you're just going to make the change? You're hearing about lithium batteries. You're seeing the wave. Is there anything you can think of off the top of your head where you're like, this is something that people don't know, people don't understand about lithium batteries?
I would say that quality of manufacturing is probably the biggest thing that people don't know. There's a lot of brands out there that are putting out lithium batteries. You can find stuff on Amazon, companies you've never heard of before. There's a lot of large companies in the United States that are pushing lithium batteries. But for me, it's, from my standpoint, is what's inside. There's a huge gap in quality.
Okay. It's kind of like that when things start up in general, isn't it? When there's like this big push of companies all rolling into one, industry or one facet, you'll have that. It seems like you always have that big, the companies that are doing it right and making sure they're getting the product the way it's supposed to be, and the other ones that are just trying to get rich quick while it's blowing up and just trying to get product out there on the floor.
Everybody's buying it. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And you see them putting a lot of money into advertising and marketing over putting money into research and development and the actual construction of the batteries. I mean, I'm not going to say it on the air, but I could tell you 3 major companies that all compete against each other that get their stuff from the same manufacturer in China. So
See, we do that here. We throw people under the bus, dude. You go right ahead. Just throw them under the bus.
I just think it's hilarious when I see these Facebook forums.
Just write it down on a piece of paper, and Mike will throw them under the bus on the next segment.
No
so
problem.
Stay tuned, folks. We'll have that for you.
I just love it when guys are arguing about whose battery is better on these, these trolling motor pages and stuff. And these 2 companies are actually buying the internal components from the same manufacturer. They're literally the same batteries with different stickers on them.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell when you look at the spec sheets of batteries, if you compare all these different companies and the big ones, look at the weight. Look at the weight of the battery. How big is the battery? How long is their warranty? You can tell what's inside of it and the quality of it by the weight. Why is company X 10 pounds heavier than my battery at the same size? Well, it goes down to the construction of the cells themselves and the quality of the cells. Good quality lithium cells are light and they're small.
So lighter is better.
Yes.
Interesting.
That's not always
I mean,
true.
to an extent, I could probably sit with a lithium engineer and, get into an argument about that. But main part of that is, yes, the highest quality cells are small and light.
Okay.
I think that's true in all technology. Like the smaller, lighter thing, like reels. You want a lighter reel, you're going to pay more money for it, and it's better quality generally.
It's like carbon and titanium.
Yeah. Carbon fiber. Love that stuff.
Yeah.
Lighter costs more. That makes sense. And it's better quality. All right.
It's all coming together.
Learning stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of research to do. And guys, they hear about lithium and they jump into the internet, they go down this wormhole. And there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of bad information out there as well.
Yeah, don't get your information from social media. That's like rule number 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like the whole topic of lithium ion versus lithium iron phosphate. People say, lithium ion is not lithium iron phosphate. Technically, when you're talking to the engineers, those guys are right. But at the end of the day, Department of Transportation, the federal government, the FAA, everything that we do, business-wise, certification-wise, lithium ion is a broad term that covers anything with lithium inside of it.
Okay.
Whether it's lithium iron phosphate, lithium cobalt manganese, lithium polymers, all those fall under lithium ion.
And now I'm lost.
These are calls that I get all day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people call the shop, and I have to explain this, 20, 30 times a day.
Huh.
No.
So lithium ion is the same as all the lithium whatevers, or it's a broad term for it?
Unless you're talking to lithium engineers, yes, basically. Because when you really start talking to guys who are really working in the lithium industry, lithium ion is the term that they use to describe the cobalt manganese type stuff, where you're actually getting a little bit higher of a voltage out of the cells. So 3.6 volts per cell instead of 3.2 volts per cell. And that's like what Tesla was using years ago when all their cars were catching fire. Samsungs were blowing up in people's pockets. Vape pens were catching people's jeans on fire. That's that chemistry. Great output, high voltage, awesome. Powered DeWalt drills and stuff. But as far as safety goes, it's not up to the standards of safety, because they can just ignite and you get a barbecue in your pants.
Nice.
Not a good place for one. At least so I've been told. We got a good friend, Michael Mookie Wilson from the Lakeland Ledger. He's on the other side. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. 1-800-969-9352 is the number. Ryan Wiggins, Abyss Battery, abyssbattery.com. He's in studio. If you've got questions, bring them right here. Light them up. We'll be back.
Had a good question on the stream that I think we should wait until the show's live again to cover. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know their business model, but those are lead companies. Interstate batteries are made in China.
Yeah.
That's a Chinese lead acid company. I started another company selling. I'm marketing batteries to the military and federal government contracts.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how many of these lead acid batteries are made overseas. Hardly any of them are made in the United States.
Wait, so your batteries are made in the United States?
Ours?
Yeah.
No, you can't have lithium made in the U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it's not available. If we would, we could.
You can't because of the processes?
Just no one does it.
Oh, I gotcha.
Like 98% of the world's lithium is made in China.
Huh, wow.
So most of it, the lithium itself actually comes from like Chile, Argentina, Australia. China has the technology and the factories to refine it and put it into cells. We have a lot of lithium in the United States that's mined, but that lithium goes to like pills, like for psychological people.
Lithium, yeah. Lithium
It's
pills.
a very small, very small number in the broad.
Crazy.
But there is a lot of lithium in China. I mean, all their city buses and stuff are lithium powered. That's something that I should talk about too. 'Cause
Yeah.
some people caught lithium companies selling used batteries as grade A cells. They're literally taking them out of city buses after like 2 years of use, checking them, refurbishing them, labeling them as grade A, putting them in batteries, selling them on Amazon under brand names. It's what they do. That's why this whole grade A thing, if you see grade A, red flag. That's a fake term. There's no such thing as a grade A lithium cell.
That's crazy. Huh.
Yeah, it's
Grade
fun.
A.
It's so funny, the stuff I come across every day, man.
Yeah. Grade A, U.S. America, #1. Buy this battery. That sounds like a fake Amazon spam ad.
So this is an email from that manufacturer trying to get me to buy his batteries. You recognize the brand?
It looks familiar. Oh, that's funny.
So that's the manufacturer.
That's funny. That's crazy.
Make everybody.
It's nuts, man. And that's a big one. That brand.
Yeah, and they also have, I mean, check out their sponsored ads, look at the comments.
Yeah.
I get calls all day long. Dealers too.
That definitely gives it the whole industry a bad name.
I mean, it's a customer service thing on their part.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that by just looking at their Facebook comments.
Yeah. Makes it clear.
Just listen for the nationwide keyword to enter at WFLAnews.com. Presented by Darwin Wealth Management. Recent market volatility has you thinking.
I think the market will recover.
Yeah, so we have 5 ADs. So we have 2 for the mains, each side, port and starboard, and then we have 1 for the generator on the friendly. On the Florida, we have 6 because we have 2 generators. And both generators have the AD.
Yeah, it's a lot of lead.
It
Short
is
segment here.
heavy.
Welcome back. 6:54 here at the iHeart Media Empire. Ryan Wiggins of Abyss Batteries is our guest here this morning. They specialize in lithium batteries. It's what they do. Lots of great stuff there. We're going to dive in. They have a battery for electric reels, which is mind-blowing. They have an app to pay attention to your
battery will text you.
Yeah.
Just sum it up with that.
Your battery will text you. Exactly. Absolutely incredible stuff. So it took me a while to find the right landing spot in the lithium world, but we are set up. We've actually installed a helicopter pad there because that's where we landed and that's where we're going to be. It's good stuff. So let's go to the phones here quick. We got a short segment before the top of the hour. Check in with our good friend Michael Mookie Wilson, Lakeland Ledger. How are you, brother?
Hey guys, how you doing, man? It's been a while since I called in.
Yeah, man.
It's about time.
I was starting to worry about the Mookster, man. Didn't know what was going on out there.
That Friday night high school football stuff, man, keeps me up late.
Yeah, you always blame it on
Yeah.
some high school stuff or whatever. I know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm doing. Yeah. I cover a lot of high school football these days, man. So yeah, it keeps me up late. But hey, I seen old Ron call in with that royalty shad. They're going to change that thing to royalty Ron here soon enough. Huh?
Right. If they ever decide to discontinue that thing, Ron's going to be really, really grouchy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm out here at Lake Parker today, man. Not fishing, man. They're blowing up a power plant out here, so I'm out there shooting this with a ledger this morning. They're blowing this thing up at 8 o'clock.
Really?
Power plant,
Whoa.
coal power plant. They're firing it up here, man. They're blowing it up. So I'm out here at Lake Parker, but I ain't
You
fishing.
just made Ryan's morning. Ryan got all excited over there. Underwater demolition guy over there got all excited. Like, woo, stuff's blowing up. I'm missing it.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
They're supposed to have a bass tournament out here today, and the guys can't get out here till 9 o'clock after they blow this thing up. They got the whole lake blocked off, keeping everybody from getting out there. So,
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea to stay away from that.
Yeah, we'll steer clear. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a good idea, definitely.
Yeah, let's just stay away from things blowing up. That's a good idea. Interesting.
But the fishing's been good out here, man. I've been doing a lot of bass fishing and speck fishing, of course, man. Speck bite's been really good lately.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing. That's
weather
awesome.
turns them on.
Yeah, I'm ready to get out there and do some. I bought some brand new rigs last year. I got to get out there and bend them a little bit.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I talk to Ron every week for the fishing report, man. So me and him talk every week. I talk to Dylan on Thursday or Wednesday for the saltwater.
Sometimes,
so,
sometimes.
What's your favorite lake right now for the speck fishing, brother?
I like Lake Hollingsworth because it's close to my house.
Okay.
Right down the street from me, man.
All right.
Good deep holes in that lake that get really nice specks out of.
Okay, that works.
So you're looking for holes?
The best lakes right now, though, in Polk County are probably out in Frostproof Way. You got Arbuckle and Reedy, Clinch. They're all really good.
Okay.
Yeah, Greg Watts lives out there now, man, and he pounds those things out there. Boy.
If Watts is out there probably ain't any left. He probably caught them all.
He moved. He literally moved out there to get closer.
He had to move. He fished out the lake he was living near and had to move to a different lake. That would be my guess.
That's pretty much true.
His wife's like, we got to move again?
Scorched earth.
Yeah, exactly. Guys are machines, man. Total machines. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, Mookie. Well, good stuff, brother. Always good to hear your voice, my friend. Stay in touch with us. Stay alive out there, all right?
I'll try to start calling in more regularly now, man. I promise, man.
All right, brother.
You guys.
All right, partner.
Right?
Appreciate you.
Man.
Good stuff right there. The Mookster. The Mookster.
He threatens every week. I talk, I'm going to call in Saturday. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. He used to be a regular. He sat in with me several times. A super knowledgeable cat. He's the one who brought Ron Shelfo. I brought up the idea of having a freshwater report and a guru, and he brought Ronnie to the table. So
he knows everybody.
Oh, he knows everybody. If they fish, Mookie knows them. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Again, Ryan Wiggins with Abyss Battery. AbyssBattery.com is the website. They are the new partner here for the Real Animals, both Saturdays, Sundays, and on the TV side. We're going to be locking and loading the Abyss batteries in the Real Animals attack vessels. So life is good.
I like that.
We can't have an attack vessel?
I'm just, your enthusiasm. I love it.
I'm fired up today.
You are. I see it.
I
see
am.
it. I feel it.
It's a movement. The spirit inside of me, the fishing spirit, is moving in a positive direction. Things are looking up. Phone lines are open. 1-800-969-9352. Light them up. We'll be back. After doing this for like 22 years, you better hang it up.
Somebody asked a question about the mangrove snapper thing going on at the Gulf Council. We should probably talk about that on air too. A lot of people are confused about it. There's nothing going on, but a lot of confusion.
They're going to start regulating something different?
No. So the Gulf Council put out an email about their SSC meeting and how they were updating the ABC, or allowable biological catch, for mangrove snapper, and everybody freaked out. And all it means is that they're kind of updating the overall health of the fishery based on a recent stock assessment that was positive. So it's nothing that's going to change. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
You know, you're a diver.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a diver, but I dive. I know how to dive. I'm certified, but I haven't been diving in probably 6 years.
Really?
It's been a while, yeah.
We need a refresher or something. We don't.
Yeah.
I'm a master instructor.
Oh, nice. I love diving. It's fun.
I'm not up to date. I could be.
I like when I was spearfishing. I spearfished mostly free diving, and I was really good at it in like high school, early college. but then I got away from it and stopped doing it completely. And then I scuba dived a lot, and then got away from that too. Just
So I did real good. I was fine in the pool. It was all good. I thought I'd integrate some dive into my show. There's dive money there. Teresa Hadaway knew everybody in the industry, so we could get sponsored. And we went to Rainbow River, did the stuff on the side of the hole, all good. She looked at me, she was like, giddy up. Dude, as soon as I got to 12 feet, my head went crazy.
Like coming back up?
No, down.
Oh, okay.
I just couldn't clear.
you got to use Sudafed or Mucinex.
So she sent me to an ear, nose, and throat.
Yeah.
And the ear, nose, and throat, they did all the tests, and they're like, man, you're good. We just don't think you know how to clear. So she's like, I want you to just, while you're driving around, whenever you're in your truck, just blow up a balloon.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I did that. I did the Sudafed, the neti pot thing, just to be sure. So we went out to, I can't remember the name of the lake.
Denton.
It was real clear, not a lot on the bottom, bunch of little fish on the bottom and all that, like 32 feet deep, something like that. So I get out there, go down, boom, I'm on the bottom. Killer, feeding the fish, all that shit.
Right.
We get out, it was another dude, Mama T and me, and I don't know, we sat around, had a water. They're like, hey, we're going back down. I'm like, I'm fucking exhausted. Like, seriously. Like, I felt like someone kicked my ass.
Yeah.
Like, I'm toast. Like, I'm not going back down there.
Yeah.
And I remember driving home thinking to myself, if it's that much work,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was really cool, but, like, if I'm going to feel like this every time I go down there and come up, I'm out.
I did a 2
I was
dive day one
toast.
time in like 70 foot, and on the way in on the boat, I could hardly hold the steering wheel.
Oh, man.
It was rough.
When I was shooting for that quota down in Johns Pass, I was dropping 10 to 12 times a day.
Oh my
I
gosh.
spent
What, with a
I
liquid?
spent 21 days underwater overall time in 2020. I logged over 2,000 drops.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even have
With
to clear
a-
my ears anymore.
With a what kind
really?
of mixture?
Do it. It depends on how deep it is. I was gonna say too on that the Sudafed thing. I've had a lot of students that have sinus issues, and the key is just you have 8 inches of coagulate in your ear, and that stuff. If it contracts and bends, you're not gonna be able to clear your ears. So for someone like you, if we went in the water together, I would have you start clearing your ears literally right as your ears submerge, and you have to start that process. And it's gonna take 20, 30 times going down for those muscles to gain memory inside of your ear, inside that curly thing, coagulate, really how it's called, to make it better. Like it gets easier over time.
That's what my dive instructor taught me, and I did it in like middle school. And so what he always told me is the Valsalvas,
Yeah.
doing that, he said just do it all the time, every day, as much as you can
But
for weeks.
Allergies
And
can
then-
affect it, and also too, you gotta be careful with Sudafed, 'cause if you're dropping like me, you're going 120, 130, 140, 50 feet.
Yeah.
That Sudafed stuff starts to come into play when you start talking about like oxygen toxicity and the way
Yeah.
your body's actually responding to pressure, like not necessarily oxygen toxicity, but any chemicals in your bloodstream. I mean, we guys having heart attacks at the bottom of the ocean all the time, don't know why.
Yeah.
So we just try to stay away from those kind of drugs when we're going deep.
Yeah. But I've never dove past 100. I think 110 was the deepest I ever dove, but I never got past an air mixture.
I mean, I'm slamming a bang as I'm rolling into the ocean, going down by myself, full speed to 130 feet to shoot fish, like
Yeah.
hammerheads and stuff all around.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. It took it to a different level.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how I fell in love with sharks.
Well,
You guys
commercial diving is a totally different level in and of itself.
I was just hanging out at Infinite Descent.
Yeah.
And this guy walked in, he's like, hey, I need one of those shark shield things to put on my boat. I'm a commercial fisherman. Sharks keep stealing my groupers and hogfish. I was like, we don't sell them for boats, but do you want hogfish and groupers? Just put me in the water. Like, I hang out with the sharks. I shoot fish right in front of them. He didn't believe me. He took me out there, went to the pipeline, like 120 feet, came up with like 5, 6 hogfish, like 4 or 5 groupers in one drop.
Nice.
And he's like, all right.
You're in.
As there's a like 12-foot, sub-adult hammerhead swimming with me up to the surface.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I like sharks a lot too. I think when you dive a lot, you get a better appreciation for sharks.
A lot of guys don't.
I don't. Do
I
you
like
do you know
sharks.
Ben Bateman?
He's up in Crystal River area.
He is now.
Yeah.
He used to be a Tampa guy, St. Pete guy.
He was at the Red Grouper CDAR assessment data workshop, and he was showing a bunch of underwater footage of the Red Grouper. He's smart.
He's a badass.
I work with Jason Delacruz at, he's a commercial fisherman, but he's also a commercial diver. He has some really nice commercial dive boats, and he does like 250, 300 foot, all that.
Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. 7:06 here at the iHeart Media Empire. Ryan Wiggins with Abyss Battery is our guest this morning. They are our new lithium battery gurus, the people in the know in the lithium battery world. And we are super excited to have them on board and to be partnered with them moving forward here. If you've got questions about lithium batteries, you can bring them here. You can bring them to the live stream, wherever you'd like. But we definitely love to hear from you. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. Before we get too far into this big segment, let's go ahead and get our Milwaukee Tools Safe Boating Tip of the Week. Our good friend, Captain Jim Fogel, U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. Jimmy, how are you?
Good morning. I'm warming up.
Were you ever a diver, Jim? Did you ever do any diving?
Yeah, I used to be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I quit a few years ago after I had a bad experience. It scared me, so I.
Okay, tell us the story. You can't say that and not tell the story, Captain Jim.
What happened? Tell us what happened.
I got another story to tell you.
Okay.
Yesterday, the Power and Motor Yacht magazine came out, and they had a great article in there that if you guys don't get, I'm going to give you this article real quick. It's called Question the Experts, okay? Story about a guy that was considered Mr. Safety when it went to boating and cruising and fishing and things like that. He always had his Coast Guard equipment. He always left a float plan. He always had sufficient gas and power, and he was really safety oriented guy. So anyway, he and some guys go to the Bahamas, and they charter a local guide to take them out bone fishing. All right, so they go bone fishing for several hours and don't do any good. So the guide says, all right, I've got a place I know that's really, really good. I promise you the fish. Well, they didn't realize it was 2 hours away, so they took off and they went to 2 hours. They fished and they did catch fish. But anyway, they turned around to go back to their motel or hotel, and it hit the fan. A lot of wind, a lot of waves, and luckily the one gentleman had made a phone call to his son back at the hotel and said, "Listen, we're going to be a couple hours late. And the weather's getting gnarly, so just, we'll be a little late. Don't expect us at 5 o'clock or whatever." So anyway, it got worse. The next thing you knew, the guy ran out of gas. Okay.
He ran out of gas. Oh, man.
Discovered he didn't have an anchor. This is a 15-foot flats boat.
Wow.
So they start taking on water, of course, and pretty soon the boat flips. They're able to hang on to the boat, all three of them. But they had no radio, no PLB, no EPIRB, and nobody knew exactly where they were. They hung on all night, and luckily, thanks to the son and who had organized a search team during the night, they were found first thing in the morning. They were in shock, and they did have hypothermia. But the moral to the story is, guys, you got to cover your own you-know-what.
Amen.
It doesn't matter whether you're going out with Captain Mike, Captain Dillard, Captain X, Captain Ahab. It doesn't matter. You got to cover your own self. It's like we've talked about before. When you go in to a new hotel, or you go to a hotel and they want to put you on the 10th floor or something like that, you definitely want to at least be by the fire escape. So don't hesitate to ask questions. If the captain or the mate or whoever you're going out with, if it's your next door neighbor, your uncle, your dad, whoever, if if he doesn't give you a good briefing and show you where the equipment is, you start asking questions.
Bottom line is you got to be prepared.
And it comes down to
You've got to be
complacency. Complacency as well.
If you're
Yeah.
semi-paranoid like me, you take your own ditch bag with you,
Right.
and then you really, you'll feel better about the whole trip.
Yeah, my buddy Captain Ben Marshall, he spent a night out there in the cold aground and swears by a ditch bag now too. He's like, no, we'll be taking a bag with us. We're always going to have that rain jacket there because it gets cold at night on a boat sitting on the water, aground. Nobody can come get you because you're so high and dry. So, I mean, it happens. Stuff happens out there. You got to be prepared. It's a great call as always, Jimmy. Good job, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate your time. For the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete, Jim Vogel. Be safe out there.
Thanks brother. Enjoy your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
That's the one thing that always concerns me is just complacency. You're doing it all the time. You could be that safety guy. You could be the guy teaching everybody about it and really harping on things. But one day you feel comfortable or you're in a rush or you don't think about it. It can go bad fast.
It can go really bad quick. You know what we missed?
What?
Speaking of going bad.
Jack Wagon.
We need our Jack Wagon of the week.
No one in the stream reminded us. I'm very disappointed in all of you.
What's up with that? You streamers? You doggone streamers? You're supposed to help us keep this thing straight.
I had a really good one lined up, but in doing a little bit more research right as the show was starting, the date didn't line up. So that letter I was telling you about was not as bad as I thought it was because it was 2021. It was sent to me, and this letter was sent to me. Basically, it was a Manatee County official writing a letter to Director Sutton, which immediately should have been a red flag to me, but I didn't catch it because Director Sutton stepped down. But I don't know if that's public yet, but he did, and I thought it was a letter that had just been sent, like on January 12th or January 11th when I was reading it, and it said that 200 pelicans had died so far in January, and I was like, no.
I still think, listen,
BS. But it was actually a letter that had been sent in March of 2021. So
I still think that's got to ride into the Jack Wagon of the week side of it because to me, all those numbers, they make those numbers say whatever the hell they want them to say. When we were going through all this nonsense with all the no wake zones and all that all over Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Back when I was with the Florida Guides Association many years ago before you took it over, you would go to these meetings and this lady would stand up there and tell us how many manatees died in the Alafia River. And I get it. It's not good. Okay, if it's 10, if it's 6, if it's 2, it's too many. I'm down. I get it, but I had to ask the question. I'm like, lady, can you answer a question for me? Was there an autopsy done? Do we know why the manatees died? Were they crushed by a big boat up against the side of the shipping channel? Did they just die of old age? Because I imagine sooner or later manatees die.
And that's the thing. You can't ask questions, and when you ask questions, you're vilified or written off to be.
Because they don't want there to be any logic. They just don't want your ass on the water.
And that's the frustrating part about this whole thing. Like with fishing, like with our Seafire program, we have vessel monitoring. We do daily reports. That data can't be used because it's not calibrated and it hasn't been peer reviewed. But the pelican people can go out to the Skyway and count pelicans and report this information, and it's used as scientific data.
Right.
It's BS.
Yeah.
Where's the peer review? Where's the unbiased third party? Where is the science behind this? And then for the current proposals right now to ban sabiki rigs, to ban treble hooks, to ban double hooks, to limit 3 rods to your possession, which are the rules being proposed right now, being voted on January 22nd, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, somewhere in there. I think it's the 21st and 22nd, but I'm going to look it up right now. But these are the rules being voted on at this upcoming FWC meeting, which it's January 21st and 22nd. It will be in Northeast Florida. And it's crazy because those rules aren't backed by science. There's nothing that says if we limit the number of rods to 3, that's going to make sure that no pelicans die. There's no science. It's just subjective opinions.
This is what holds everything up, though. This is what log jams all of our movement forward in all kinds of facets of life, because you got those jack wagons that are just pushing their agenda. They don't give a rat's keister about what's right or wrong. They just want us not to fish and pelicans to fly and poop everywhere. That's all they care about. And listen.
Well, they did it at Naples Pier. They've shut fishing down at Naples Pier. They did it at Gulf Pier and Fort DeSoto.
That's their
they
little
closed.
victories.
They closed, and now they're going for the big victory.
Yeah.
The biggest,
Victory
most
in the
popular fishing pier in the Southeast, the Skyway Fishing Pier.
They're psychopaths. And what it's doing, what that kind of nonsense does is it makes people like me, regular, honest, tax-paying people that go and get licenses and do everything the right way, do the best they can to not hurt it. They make us fight you guys on every inch of stuff you try to push through.
Yeah. And
all the change and all that nonsense.
You just hit the nail on the head. Fishermen pay taxes through license fees.
100%.
Those bird idiots, they don't pay license fees. They don't support the FWC. Not a penny goes to the FWC.
No,
the fishermen do.
But it's not about, that's because it's not about the pelicans.
Yeah.
It was the save the tarpon whack jobs. It wasn't about the tarpon. It was about us not fishing in Boca Grande Pass. Didn't have anything to do with the tarpon. And you know what? I've said it a million times. I said it on the radio shows. I'd have more respect for you loser wuss bags if you would just be honest and just go, you know what? I just don't like fishermen. Okay, well, I get it. I don't like bird lovers. So great. We're on the same page. Now we can talk. Now I know you're not lying. Now you're shooting straight to save the tarpon people. Well, it's all about the tarpon. No, it's not. It's about that piece of earth. If you'd have just came out and said, we don't like you in Boca Grande Pass, I'd have been like, oh, well, sure, I get that.
Yeah.
There's a ton of us in your backyard, for 2.5, 3 months a year. I get it. No problem. Okay, that makes sense. Now we can talk. No, but we're going to lie to you. We're going to lie to everybody else and make this a whole political bunch of nonsense.
And it's so calculated. Like the Friends of Pelicans group out there feeding the pelicans every day, committing felonies day in, day out, and then admitting to it at FWC meetings, in FWC calls. Of course we feed the birds. But it's the fishermen chumming that's the problem, literally. And so these people are so calculated. Like if you look at their social media, it's so orchestrated. Every post right now is all about these regulations. So they posted a big thing about how fishermen, if they have more than 3 rods, they set them out, they don't pay attention. And this pelican drowned yesterday because this fisherman had more than 3 rods. So every post is so calculated to try to back their agenda for these rules that are being proposed. And people are buying into it and donating money, and fishermen are just sitting there thinking like, oh, this is kind of messed up, and then we move on with our lives. That's how we get run over. That's how we get pushed off the water. And to me, a lot of people are like, well, I fish a boat, I don't fish a Skyway, what do I care? But everybody starts on the Skyway, on seawalls. This is where people get into fishing. So if they eliminate that fishing access, they're successfully going to eliminate the next generation of anglers.
It's coming. They're just going to keep chopping wood until they get everybody off the water. That's the goal. And that's the problem. There's an agenda. It's not an honest, conversation, because they won't be honest about it. It's just jacked up. So anyway, we're going to talk batteries on the other side, because lithium batteries are cool and positive and a bona fide good thing, a feel-good story. That's what we need. We need some feel-good stuff. So we're going to
bring us back.
Yeah. We're going to talk to Ryan Wiggins from Abyss Batteries on the other side about cool, positive
Jack Wagon
stuff.
of the Week. Gets us fired up every week.
Every week. It's all good stuff. That's why we came up with it. We love it. We're going to come up with a logo yet. I want a logo for that. We need a logo. We're going to start giving out gifts like Jack Wagon of the Week hats. You got to wear it around for a week after you've been nominated. It's perfect. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. We'll be back. You can clearly see why we have 10 listeners.
You got more than that.
I'm kidding, bro. I know we actually, that's just on the stream, dude. We do, it's really, I'm just messing with you.
You don't have a Kleenex in here, do you?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
All you need.
There's toilet paper on top of the fridge, too. You're probably fine.
Yeah, I just don't like the lying.
Make it so we can post a picture. I wish we could, Joe. We can't do that in the stream, unfortunately. That's a Facebook rule.
That's an interesting subject for me as well, because I'm like, Trump, guns, all that kind of stuff.
Weird. I would have never thought that.
I used to be the dive safety officer at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. and I had about 85 people that worked for me.
Yeah.
And that is a very liberal, community.
Couldn't have guessed that.
So for me, it's very interesting because I saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
It's like they find something out, but then we find something else that don't talk about that.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit.
Like scalping pelicans. The Friends of Pelicans group is legitimate, and they have a whole platform because they accused some fishermen out there for scalping pelicans, and it was a huge thing. Literally. Yeah, like taking a knife to their head and scalping the pelican. And there was this huge thing like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, and the FWC had to get involved. They spent thousands of dollars, did a huge investigation, only to find out this is totally natural. Pelicans have been doing it for years. I talked to a rescuer in the Keys. She said in the 80s we knew this. This was common knowledge that these pelicans dive bomb when the water gets really cold, the bait disappears. They are so hungry, they start dive bombing bridges, and they'll hit their head sometimes on the oysters on the side of a bridge, and it creates a little cut. Well, that pelican doesn't stop eating. He keeps diving, and he's got that little cut, and eventually it tears and tears, and sometimes they'll be totally scalped. And it's totally self-harm that these pelicans are doing, self-preservation, because they don't have enough food.
Right.
They don't have enough food. That's the problem. They don't have enough food, so address that problem. Don't accuse fishermen out here for scalping birds. And they did this huge thing. They wasted a bunch of taxpayers' time, dollars, and all this FWC effort. It came out that it's totally natural, and not a single word was said. It wasn't even announced. There was news stories. They made national news that someone was scalping pelicans at the Skyway. Friends of Pelicans
it doesn't
jocked up. They got all this money. They got all these donations.
Doesn't fit the media's liberal agenda.
And then
When I lived on the sailboat, I was sitting down there with my ex-girlfriend and my dog one day, and it sounded like someone threw a football up against the side of the boat. What the hell? I pop up, pelican flies up, and I'm watching it. They were literally hitting the side of my boat and going after the bait fish under my boat in the shadow, like contacting my boat. They were messing up my paint.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are idiots. Like, I'll just give you some. Like,
don't do that. That's
No,
felony.
I know.
Only the bird people can feed the birds.
Right.
Idiots.
Jack
Like literally,
Wiggins.
there's millions of videos of these idiots cast netting a bucket full of greenbacks, and he's a paid employee. Gets paid $25 an hour, and he walks down the Skyway with greenbacks, throwing them up in the air to the birds.
why?
Because he's an idiot.
Do they think that they're
No, they
underfed?
chum in birds, and then they look for one that might have some line on it, and then they do a photo shoot of how bad the fishermen are. This is a fisherman's problem. It's like, dude, you just chummed 1 million birds up against the most popular fishing pier in the southeast region. So once you habitualize those birds to know these birds show up, when they see this little guy show up, his employee's out there Monday through Friday. So when he shows up, the birds start coming to him because they know he's about to feed them.
Save the Pelicans isn't writing that check. Peter's writing
I
that
know
check.
this is a passionate subject for you guys, but I'd be willing to bet that the pelicans that are dying, I've seen pelicans die firsthand, and it wasn't because of a hook.
Yeah.
It's a piercing. It's the fish that people are throwing off the chopped up kingfish.
And that's a huge problem too. You're not supposed to throw carcasses to pelicans.
And you can totally regulate that.
They already have. They already have. You're not supposed to.
The hooks, I tackled a pelican last year over by two
Yeah.
ships. Which is a little, I think it was a female, so it was small, walking around with a hook. And as soon as she looked away, I grabbed her and I pulled the hook out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's illegal.
You know, fishermen do it all the time. We're the ones who rescued the most amount of birds, but we don't get credit for that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's not issues. I mean, I've seen people hook a pelican and cut the line, which is totally ridiculous and the wrong thing to do. And you're killing not only that bird, but potentially others. But then also, I've seen people throw carcasses to birds. And I mean, we have, over the history of our company, done the same thing, not knowing any better. But we haven't done that in the last 2.5, almost 3 years. And it's just all about educating people, but it's not a reason to shut down fishing.
Right.
Welcome back. We're going to have a much calmer segment. This segment, I believe.
We'll see about that.
Ryan's going to give us more positive, uplifting information about lithium batteries. So lighter, more powerful. Yeah. And then
Yes, sir.
do you guys do custom batteries there as well? Like if somebody need batteries built to fit a certain location in a boat, do you guys have that? I don't know if we do or not.
We can, if if Contender or Freeman or someone was like, hey, we want this battery, but we want it to be shaped like this. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we can assemble them in almost any shape that you want, I guess.
Okay.
Probably be hard to do like a spherical battery.
Right.
But
could be done, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do custom jobs.
If you're willing to pay.
I know Nick, the owner of the company, he put, before I was working for him, he put batteries in, I believe, Sarasota PD, their motorcycles.
Oh, okay.
I think they ride Harleys down there, and he put some little tiny lithium batteries in there to power their laptops and little laser guns. And now, actually, all the new Harleys have lithium batteries, I believe.
That's crazy.
They changed out the alternators. The Harley,
Really?
Bugatti, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, they're all coming out lithium. With the alternator, yeah, you got to change the alternator. That's a whole nother subject. But I get calls all the time, especially after I started doing YouTube stuff with Blue Gabe. I get these calls like, "Hey, can I put one in my truck?" It's like, "Well, you can, but you got to change out your alternator."
Okay.
A high output alternator. I don't know how far you want to get into this. Tell me to shut up.
No, you're good.
But the alternators on vehicles are designed to work at about a 60% efficiency, because lead acid AGM batteries, you can throw whatever you want at them because there's so much internal resistance. It doesn't do anything bad to the alternator. The batteries are designed to off gas and heat and do all those things. Well, lithium has no internal resistance. So if you put it on a regular car alternator, that alternator starts functioning at like 100%. What it's not really designed to do, because the fan, the cooling, and all that stuff. So you can actually overheat and smoke your alternator is what I call it.
Okay.
But you see these high-end cars and stuff, they're working in the Harleys, they're working into the lithium world. So they're adapting their alternators to function with, no internal resistance on the output side.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
Hope that makes sense. But
It does.
Somewhat. I'm following.
So
I'm trying.
I mean, realistically, what and maybe we had somebody on the live stream asking about, some of the other battery companies, the more popular brands out there that go into cars interstate and blah blah blah, and why they're not pushing the big lithium thing. And I don't know that they're not. Maybe they are. To me, I would think it's like anything else. It's like broadcast TV and digital TV. You know what I mean? Doesn't just because digital TV now is becoming so popular, Waypoint TV and all these, digital platforms that Real Animals is on. That doesn't mean I don't have my show on, local TV, WMOR, like I do every year, or on Sportsman's Channel or World Fishing Network. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a slow fade, right? I mean.
Well, from that guy's question asking about like interstate and diehard batteries and stuff, the lead acid battery industry is actually it's kind of a brilliant thing, because they warranty their batteries for a year or 2 years. They go dead in a year or 2 years. You turn them back in, you get a new battery, but you got to turn the old battery back in because they recycle the cells. So they're getting those back and they're making new batteries out of the ones that went bad. It's like this constant
Beautiful
thing, right?
Yeah,
smart.
That's why there's the answer to your question. That's why those battery companies won't go away or don't want to switch to lithium, because they're making a killing doing what they're doing.
Right.
So,
I mean, at the end of the day, lead acid batteries they're great batteries for starting and stuff. The technology's been around a long time.
Yeah.
You go back to, we talk about the Baghdad battery, battery technology and what's Baghdad now? It's same kind of chemistry and technology, but they work great. You keep watering them, keep them healthy. Are they good to put into series to 36 volt and run on a trolling motor? No, not really.
Gotcha. Interesting. So much great stuff here. Ryan Wiggins with Abyss Battery, abyssbattery.com, our guest this morning. We got Mike Mesra, Tampa Bay Sporting Clays on the other side. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. 1-800-969-9352. We got one more big segment, one more short segment to wrap up this morning, so light them up. We'll be back. Shit right there. That's why I'm a pro, dog. Okay? You see me get out on time?
I did.
Get all that information in there and get out on time. Boom! No, I was eyeballing it. I was trying to gauge how deep he was going to go. It's hard sometimes the new guests, because you get them spun up into what they're passionate about and what they know. They can just kind of, and then you're like, cut it off. We got to go to break.
Too much?
No, it's not too much. It's great.
He's teaching me about
the timing. But he was talking to you and he was looking at you. I didn't know if he saw the time.
I was watching the clock because
at the 30s and at the top of the hour, we have to get out at that time. The other breaks we can be softer with. It doesn't matter.
It boogers stuff up if you don't get out on time. You drag it out, it shortens because everything's on a time clock. Like there's so many commercial spots that go into a commercial block. So if you drag, he can move it back, but it's going to shorten up your next segment, and it's just a pain in their butt. So.
Which doesn't matter as much with the softer breaks, but the top of the hour and that 30 break, the half hour, is a news break.
Gotcha.
So we have to be out at that time.
Is it okay that I'm responding to people on this live
100%.
Oh, go for it.
Absolutely. Interaction's a beautiful thing.
Jason Richmond said, Jim Fogel said, cover yourself and bring a GPS on Hubbard's boats. It's not what he said.
Oh, Richard on the South Shore.
So I have a question for you. If I can't go buy a lithium battery and put it in my truck because of the alternator, don't outboards have alternators?
Yes, but they're different.
Okay, because they're smaller.
It's a different thing.
I gotcha. So it's not a problem on that.
Outboards have alternators. A
Okay.
lot of them have what's called a stator.
True, the stator.
So the thing is like the ECU in an outboard motor is going to adapt, or we can actually program our batteries to work with the ECUs and the outboards and stuff. So we did to make our batteries work with Yamahas. We just reprogrammed it to the lower voltage. That's the thing with Yamaha is they actually.
So you can just text the battery, hey, reprogram yourself. I got a Yamaha on this.
If I had a battery here, I could show you, but you actually, this isn't for, I don't want everyone to know this, but on the last page of our app, you can go in here, and if you click this 10 times, it's not going to do it because it's not connected to a battery, but if you click that 10 times, you pull up all the stuff. I can change anything.
Whoa.
And I actually have if you can't do that, if you're one of these guys that I have to explain how to download an app, I can actually remote into your phone. You give me permission, and I can go in and take control of your phone to get into the BMS of the battery.
That's cool.
We can change all the parameters
Of the battery.
You can get in there and mess stuff up. Output voltage, input voltage, high temperature warmth, like everything about the battery. All the protection modes is programmable.
Whoa. That's cool.
But the alternators, I'm not an alternator expert, and I don't deal with vehicles, so I don't have as.
What about a big, could we do this on these big inboard diesels?
You can, and there's an
Because they 100% have alternator.
There's an easier way to do it as well. There's like a $60 device that you can put in between the alternator and the lithium battery, but you're still going to run into that problem if your alternators are going to be running too hot.
Well, we smoke alternators, like it's.
What does an alternator cost for that? I mean, your lithium compatible alternator, you're talking like $1,100 to $1,400. So it's definitely an upgrade, and it's not a cheap one. But if it makes sense for you, then I mean, I got one guy that does fly fishing guide. He's a fly fishing guide, and he charges people like $1,000 a day. He's got like this house where they come this day. He goes out. He's like Ryan. He's like we hardly even catch anything. He's like these guys love it, but he could only take out 3 paying customers. When you remove the lead acid batteries from his boat, now he can take 4. So every day he goes fishing, he makes another $1,000 because he switched to lithium.
Wow.
Because he's on a little flats boat.
Yeah.
He's got like the pole.
Yeah.
Now he's using a trolling motor.
That's awesome.
But yeah, for you can. It's just there's the engine and the alternator side of things hasn't quite moved over yet to this whole lithium thing, because as of right now, this is still a new technology. And a couple years ago, even still today, people are like, "Oh, lithium means fire." But if you look at the U.S. Coast Guard, the ABYC, American Boating and Yachting Council, and their investigation that they did, all of the known lithium fires we've had are actually charger related or house supply side.
Yeah, and that's the reason the Coast Guard just updated our subchapter T stuff, and we actually have to have we actually have to have a charging station on the boats, and we have to have a charging plan, and we had to write up this document that says we only charge things in this area, and we have to have fire extinguishers around it and stuff.
Because that dive boat in California where like 30 people died.
Yeah.
That was like a GoPro, like an Amazon off-brand GoPro charger that they think caught that fire up.
Wow. Crazy, man.
There's a lot of cheap lithium out there, man. You look at all these e-bikes catching fire on TikTok and stuff. And it's all
well, I have a really bad to the bone RC truck, and the chargers like to unwrap the batteries and the chargers was like wrapped in this crazy caution thing. Like, do not charge this battery unless you're standing there. Yeah, it's serious. The batteries are crazy. Output is nuts. The guy was like, "Are you sure you want these batteries?" Like, I had to sign a form. It was like, what am I buying?
Something funny. Take that thing outside.
Well, I charge it in the garage, in the middle of the garage, and I just sit next to it and play on my phone while it's charging. But it doesn't take long to charge.
Right.
But yeah, it gets hot. The charger gets hot.
Charge super fast.
Yeah, but it's I plug in. There's a charging like a normal voltage block. I don't know what they're called, but like a computer thing. It's like the thing, and then it goes into a square, and then it goes into another cord. But this one has like 3 of them. And it makes this crazy noise. One of them sounds like a dang airplane engine. It like spools up. It's crazy, dude. Every time I charge the thing, but the car goes like 65 miles an hour. It's so stupid. Like if you floor it, it just pops a wheelie and then it takes off. And it just, it's crazy. It's so much fun.
I had a buddy I went to high school that races RC cars like on
Yeah.
like a high level.
Really?
Yeah.
I just mess around in the field in my backyard.
Here we
break
go,
it all
kids.
the time.
Welcome back. Let's jump right on the phone lines here. It's here. Ryan Wiggins, Abyss Battery. AbyssBattery.com is our guest here this morning. Want to rattle through some of these calls. Everybody's waking up, getting the coffee in them. Let's check in with our good friend, Mike Mesra, Tampa Bay Sporting Clays. We are coming to see you again today, my friend. We are looking forward to it. That place is amazing. What's going on in your world, pal?
Hey, brother. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am preparing myself for you today.
Good.
I'm already preparing myself.
Perfect.
Anyway, hey, I want to talk to Ryan about maybe doing some batteries. So make sure I get his number, or maybe I can get his contact.
I'll share it with you. I'll share it with
I've
you.
only got like, I don't know, 150 batteries.
I was just about to say, he's got a lot of golf carts.
Exactly, a ton.
He owns more golf carts than anybody I know.
I'll
I'd love to talk to him about it.
I'll send you his number
Let me
right
back
away.
up for a second. What is can you explain what like a wuss puss is? Because I don't. He said that in like the last segment, and I was trying to.
You said that.
Wuss puss?
I couldn't figure that out.
I must
When
have-
he gets angry, he was shaking. The
Words.
vein in his head was throbbing. He doesn't even remember what he said.
Pelican people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can we play that back? With you guys.
Absolutely, I'm gonna find that.
Derek said he can.
Yeah,
so.
Derek's looking for it now. I don't remember saying wuss puss, but I might have.
It was like 7:14, Derek.
It was something in that line. Don't quote me. But anyway, I ran DU for 24 years, and it's the same exact thing with fishing. That when you were getting, I hate to get back on it, but yeah, it's the exact same thing. The people that buy the hunting license are the people that are the advocates to help save the waterfowl and the wetlands. And it's the exact same thing. The fishermen are the people that help preserve this community. And it's the bird people and the people that are just fighting don't really give anything back to help. And all they do is just sit there and they just want their voice and their narrative to be heard. And I've heard it forever. So anyway, I don't want to get back on it, but anyway, it's a beautiful day today. It's cold. It's in the 40s up here at the club.
Whoa.
We've got the Newport Richie Rotary Club coming out today, and we got our yellow course that we opened up for 3 days, and I had to close it due to the monsoon we had yesterday morning. But we're working on getting that back open. But I'm looking forward to seeing you guys up here. All the courses are open except for yellow this afternoon, and all weekend. So it's going to be a great weekend.
We're coming, dog. I can't wait. We're ready. I shot really good last week for me, not for you, not your caliber shooting, but I shot good for me. So I'm sure that this Saturday I will suck it up, but that's okay. I'm good with that. We're gonna get out there and do it up
make
anyway.
It happen.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen. And I've got the 28 gauge for Beth. So anyway, I know you guys got a big segment, so go to it. Thank you for all you do, and we'll see you this afternoon. Take care, guys.
You're the man, brother. Appreciate you. Good stuff right there. MyTBSC.com. Mike Mesra, Tampa Bay Sporting Clays. If you haven't been out there to do it, you need to go do it. We're going back out this week. My wife loves it. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law are coming with us. So
I was talking to one of our listeners yesterday at the Seafood Fest, and he was like, oh, yeah, well, after this, we're heading up there. So he was heading to Tampa Bay Sporting Clays. Yeah, he was pretty cool.
I don't blame him. It's such an amazing place. Can't wait. It's good stuff. Let's check in real quick with Donald in Lutz. Donald, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hope all is well with you guys.
Yes, sir.
Great to hear your show always.
Appreciate
I've got
you.
a question for Ryan.
Yep.
I've got the Minn Kota 106 Sportsman. It's got the 45-pound thrust. I'm running an AGM battery, and I also run a 20-watt solar panel that puts out, without hooking up to the battery, it goes like 16 volts, and I never lose power out there. I got a question about solar panels and lithium batteries. Are they compatible, or would there be a special solar panel? Because I feel really safe out there having a solar panel, because I know I'm never going to lose juice out there. But with the weight of my, my battery, it's an AGM Duracell, because it's heavy. How would that work? Or are there solar panels for lithium batteries?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I actually used to live on a sailboat with just lithium batteries and solar. I didn't have any propane or anything, and I provided enough power with solar to my lithium batteries to run my electric stove and oven and cooktop and stuff. So when you take in a solar panel, that's a small solar panel you're talking about. I think you said 20 watts.
Yeah.
That's really tiny. But what you can do is if you wanted to continue to go solar and switch over to lithium, what you would do is you would get what's called an MPPT controller in between your lithium battery and your solar panel. And it basically is going to regulate what's coming out of the solar panel and turn it into a language that the lithium battery can accept. And they're extremely efficient as well. That's the whole thing with the MPPT controllers is it's about efficiency, converting energy from sunlight into the voltage and amp hours, and that's where the MPPT controller comes into play. But if you have an 8D, I'm assuming that trolling motor is a 12 volt, right?
Yes, 12 volt. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So if you're running an 8D 12 volt battery to power that trolling motor, if you switch to a lithium 8D battery, I don't think that you would need solar anymore, because you're turning over to about 2 to 3 days worth of usable energy in that thing. Because the capacity of a lithium battery, it's not the same as the capacity of a lead acid battery or an AGM, because of the usable capacity in the battery. Lithium you can drain basically all the way down, where AGM you're looking at 50%, lead acid you're looking at about 70% before you do significant damage to the internal components of the battery itself. So you could actually go with a smaller lithium battery and get more runtime with that trolling motor.
Yeah, my battery that I have is a 50 amp hour battery.
Yeah, so
because I didn't need the big giant one because of the panel, but if I can eliminate the panel, that would be great.
I'll get you. We'll get you in touch with them. abyssbattery.com. Call over there, get a hold of Ryan, and he'll run you through it. I got some more callers here, Donald. I got to run through some more questions here. All right.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, you guys have a great week. Tight lines and stay safe out there, guys.
Good stuff, Donald. Really good stuff.
And
you too,
he doesn't
brother.
have to worry about it running out of power in the kayak, because his battery will text him.
There's that.
Abyss battery has an app for that.
He's still on the battery will text me.
It's still cool.
That's so cool.
It's 50 amp hours. My 120 amp hour battery weighs 20 pounds. It's the size of a 12-pack of beer.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
Let's check in here with Richard on the South Shore. Richard, how are you this morning, my friend?
I'm doing just fine. Good. I had had some hope that when Dylan came onto the program, it would bring a little more civility and calmness to the program, but it looks like you took him the other way.
Richard.
Thank you.
Come on, Richard. You're like one of my favorite callers, and you call in here and beat me up, dog. Now I'm like...
He goes back and forth. He calls and beats me up. He calls and beats you up, so it's you this week.
But on to lithium batteries. Lithium batteries, the conversation I hear among the fishermen and at the bar and this, that, and the other is, number one, they're going to catch on fire. And, a lot of people have a confusion with that before they had lithium ion, they had lithium, and which were more subject to explosions and fires and everything. But the lithium ion technology took a lot of that danger out of it. Now, I've seen a lot of acid core batteries blow up. I've never seen a lithium blow up.
That's true.
Yeah, you're not going to see a lithium battery blow up.
You hear other things, too. Someone told me, they took the top off of some of those, and all they found inside was two little lead core batteries, and it's a big Chinese hoax. People who do their own research come up with this kind of stuff.
Right.
But I purchased one and I'm getting probably right now, I would say 12 to 15 miles out of my 16-foot squareback canoe easily on it.
Wow.
And after I tested for a month, I bought a second one. And so now I have two of them in my canoe. I've dropped the weight by 100 pounds, which is important when you pull up to some of these ramps that aren't really ramps and you want to put your canoe or little float boat or whatever it is into the water. You can actually pick it up and carry it instead of taking the batteries out.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you see people on docks. They're all the time taking their trolling motor batteries out. I'm getting to the age where those damn things are too heavy. I really like these. I'd like to see how long they hold up.
All right, well, good stuff. Well, keep us
That's
in the
awesome.
loop, and we'll keep you in the loop. And you're the man. Good call, brother. We appreciate you. Good stuff, Richard.
All right, see you.
Thanks, partner.
See you, buddy.
Good stuff. Man, he's a tough guy.
You're a bad influence.
Is that what he's trying to say?
That's what he said. That's what he said.
I thought you were influencing me in a positive direction.
I think we're influencing each other.
Yeah. All right. I can live with that, I guess. Let's go to Jeff in Lake Alfred. Jeff, how are you?
Good morning. I'm one of your 10 listeners in Lake Alfred.
Awesome. It's very nice to meet you, sir. We appreciate you listening. What you got for us this morning? That's awesome.
I was just curious. I had some friends that run offshore and catch the big sheephead when it gets really cold like that. I was wondering if you or Dylan target those and what's your advice on bait and hooks, rigs, running 10, 20 miles offshore to some of the wrecks or reefs and catching the big sheephead.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't suggest 20 miles, but every bit of 10 to 15 miles behind these big fronts, we get the weird ones offshore, and it's always interesting to see what we catch behind the big fronts when the water's still pretty murky. We'll get those really big speckled trout. We'll get monster flounder. We'll see the big sheep's head, and definitely around artificial wrecks. Basically, fish are a lot like us. When there's a big storm or a hurricane inbound, what do? We all seek shelter, right? The fish are the same way, and their version of shelter is just really big structure.
Big relief, yeah.
Yeah, so they congregate on that big structure, and a lot of times with these cold fronts, those styles of fish, like specifically sheep's head, end up offshore. Plus, this time of year, they're out there spawning. So flounder, sheep's head, they're out there spawning. I don't know about speckled trout, but we catch them offshore too. I don't know why they're out there because I don't know their life history as much. But I know for a fact this time of year, those sheep's head are out there spawning. So when they're already out in the Gulf and then a cold front comes, it's going to congregate them, and it makes it real easy to target them.
I just use a knocker rig.
I would have too, yeah. Knocker rig, live shrimp. Normally for sheep's head, you're using a small piece of shrimp out deeper, fishing out, like you're saying, targeting those artificial reefs. I use a whole shrimp or a half a shrimp if they're a really big shrimp, because you're not only going to get the sheep's head, but you might get the flounder, you might get the speckled trout, you might get the hogfish. Who knows?
Even though they're closed, you'll get some really good big grouper action too. You know, as far as just catching fish.
Grouper are not closed.
Oh.
Red groupers open, scamp groupers open,
grouper.
strawberry
you know
grouper
what I'm
open.
talking about.
All the grouper are open except for one specific species.
Jeff, we appreciate the call, my friend. Great job. Tell the other 9 listeners out there to call us anytime, okay?
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thanks, brother. Great call. Great
I hear
call.
that all the time. Groupers are closed. It drives me crazy.
All right, I'm sorry. Well, see, there he is, Richard. He's correcting me. Putting a shout out there again for our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. Again, shingle, metal, tile, or flat roof, doesn't matter. These guys are the best in the business. They understand that your roof is a large investment, protects most, if not everything that you own. These people are trustworthy, great people, been fishing with them for years now. Call Affordable Roofing Systems today at 1-888-397-ROOF for your free estimate, or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. We'll be back.
The guy that was asking about batteries had a lot of things that could have just made my mind go wild.
Yeah. With Donald and Lutz?
With the lithium, now that it's lithium ion change, so I can tell that guy's done a lot of research, but he's been picking stuff from different, because what he was saying didn't all make sense.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of manufacturers out there that are putting crap inside the batteries.
Wow.
Nick Nieves, keeping Mike in line, LOL.
I wouldn't go that far, Nick.
Oh.
Just so you guys know, too, our batteries can't catch fire.
Yeah.
They'll burn like a mofo if you throw them in a fire, but each individual cell inside will physically disconnect itself from the circuit with a purge valve if it reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent a thermal runaway.
Wow.
So you can't. It's always chargers. Like,
Hmm.
or people on.
Do you need a special kind of charger? Someone did ask that.
Yeah, you need a charger that charges lithium. But the thing is you need a special charger. But the science behind it and the way it works, charging lithium is easy. It's one voltage until it's done, then it's done. There's no float, there's no maintenance, there's no other modes it goes through. You pump it and then it's done.
So there's not like like on a battery charger, you have like
Trickle and all
yeah,
that. No. Nope.
Just one setting.
Lithium, it goes. And
So if you have a lithium battery, you can't just go and buy a battery charger off the shelf. You have to make sure that battery charger is for a lithium battery.
Most of the new chargers out there are going to have AGM lead acid and lithium.
Oh, okay.
And like all the Victrons, you spend over $150, they're intelligent. It knows when you hook it up to a battery, it knows what it is.
Yeah, I have one of those, like I said, for the RC trucks. One of the RC trucks has a smart charger. And when you plug it in, it tells you what kind of battery it is.
And your charger's doing less work.
Yeah.
You're consuming less electricity to charge it because you're not running it for 12 hours.
Mhm.
You know, it's not going through all these different modes and stepping down. It's actually got less internal components.
A lithium charger charges faster in one mode.
Yep.
So it's interesting, with me being on the power pole charge, we're going to be able to split. Maybe, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm interested to hear whether or not we can split it. Because my start batteries,
Split what?
the two battery systems, I'm running two different kinds of batteries on the boat.
So on your power pole charge app, you can go and you can select like your starting battery, lead
Okay.
acid. You can select your 36-volt battery, lithium, and it will charge it for sure.
That's what I heard,
I was
too. I
dealing
just
with the
went-
engineers over there. They have a new model coming out that's like $900 more next year, and it's going to support. You can do it now, but it's going to 100% support having lithium across the board. Because the power pole charge that's out right now, it's not really designed to have lithium on the house or lithium on the starting battery. But if you know what you're doing, you go and you change the parameters, you get rid of float and all that stuff, just charge 14.6 volts. You basically override it. Now you can have all lithium. But most
So
of
the power pole charge that's out now, you can charge all lithium, but
Yeah,
you have
and
to manipulate it.
you guys, you know Nick, right? They had a power pole charge on their last boat
Mhm.
with our batteries and stuff. We just have to go and reprogram. For us, it's easy. You know, we know what those parameters mean. For the user end, you know, it can
Little
be a
bit more
lot. I mean,
tricky.
I'm dealing with guys that don't even know how to download an app.
Well,
I've been
some of the complaints on the power pole charge, and everybody out there knows I'm a huge power pole guy, but some of the complaints on the from guys I talk to at the dealerships are that it's too smart. Like, it's not user friendly from the fact that it's so advanced that Joe Blow can't function well with it. It's
Well,
almost,
I
you
had
know.
one guy tell me that he was within cell phone range, so the power pole charge could sense that there was an update, but it wouldn't let him turn on his batteries or his trolling motor battery because the update hadn't been completed because he left data service. So the power pole charge wouldn't let you. They have since changed that like last month, but it wouldn't let you run it wouldn't let you run it unless it was up to date with the new firmware.
Oh.
No, but they fixed that. Those guys, the engineers,
I think
over
this
there
is
actually
us.
look cool.
Wrapping things up here this morning, that show absolutely flew by. Big shout out here to Ryan Wiggins. Really enjoyed having you, brother. This show should be a whole nother hour long, so we could dive into what's going on in Ryan's head. And seeing as how he gets up early anyway, we're going to have him in here as we move forward here, just to get us up to speed on what's going on in the lithium world. Want to put our programming notes out there. Do you got anything coming up?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up. So right now we are in the heat of Seafood Festival, or the cold of Seafood Festival, I should say.
Chill.
January 22nd, we have our Bass Pro Shops Fishing Conversation, 2 p.m. January 22nd. And then January 27th and every final Friday, we have that big final Friday party inside Johns Pass. And Hubbard's Marina does theirs extra big. We're going to be giving away crawfish, shrimp, sausage, doing a big low country boil. So come out and see us 6 to 9 p.m. January 27th for Final Friday inside Johns Pass. And then every Sunday night, we've got our live stream show, 8:30 p.m. as well.
Good stuff for sure. If you are, again, mechanically inclined at all, an auto mechanic, certified welder, machinist, CDL driver, if you're looking to make a change, our good friends at Ring Power doing that career fair today at the Tampa facility that's out there on Boyette Road, right on the corner of Boyette and 75, really, right there at the Riverview exit. From 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. today, go to ringpower.com/job fair to register or get more information. Don't forget, on the 31st of January, the last Tuesday of the month, we are going to be at Bartow Ford. Captain Ryan Rickard is going to join us for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation. Again, our good friends at Silver Ring Cafe. Dana out there serving up fresh Cubans, stuffed potatoes, deviled crabs. Going to be awesome. We've got giveaways from Bull Bay rods, Flamingo coolers. We'll have Real Animal swag, all kinds of good stuff. Ryan Rickard is a phenomenal human being, a phenomenal fisherman. He's just really, really good at figuring out what fish are doing. It's a great opportunity if you love to fish inshore, whether you throw live bait or artificial, to pick his brain a little bit. He's going to be answering questions there for us, so it's going to be good for sure. So make sure you check that out. Want to put a shout out to my good friend Timmy Seaton, who built my outdoor kitchen as well. If you're looking for an outdoor kitchen, you got to check this cat out. He's a firefighter doing outdoor kitchens on the side. Absolutely love mine to death. It's all aluminum construction. It's bad to the bone. 813-966-5067, or you can reach out to me and I will get you in touch with Timmy. He is super good people. So really glad we had you in here this morning. That was some interesting stuff, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was nice. That was nicely done. Good stuff for sure. So much to learn about that lithium battery world. You know, I mean, it's interesting to me as you're talking, even at the break, as you were diving into stuff that was coming up in the show, and as you're chatting, my brain is just reeling over here. So, as I said, you're gonna figure this out fairly quickly because you're a smart guy, Ryan. You're going to be like, that Cap Mike is not bright. We really, really, really have to work on that guy. But I'm going to get there. I'm going to understand this lithium game. I don't understand all the ion this and poo on that and all that craziness, but it's interesting to me. So
do we have that segment called up, Derek? Thank you.
I didn't say wuss puss, did I? I've said it a million times. I said it on the radio shows. I'd have more respect for you, loser wuss bags, if you would just be honest and just go, you know what? I just don't like fishermen.
Save that, please.
All right.
You loser wuss bags.
He said wuss puss. I'm like, I've never said wuss puss in my life.
So wuss bag is so much better.
Wuss bag's fine, I think, don't you?
Yeah.
I think.
I was going to say, you know, as all your listeners and stuff, if they have any questions, call me at the office.
Okay.
Like I'm the one that answers the phone. I answer on the first ring unless I'm in the bathroom, and that goes for you too. If you got any more questions about lithium, give me a call. You got my cell phone number.
Yeah, you're going to get tired of hearing from me, brother. Well, what's the number? What's the best number to reach you at the office? Do you know off the top of your head? abyssbattery.com. You can go to the website. You can get the number right there.
And the Facebook page is Abyss Battery. All the social media, Abyss Battery. And Abyss has 2 S's in it. Just so you know.
And if you go to the website, there's a little chat feature at the bottom to ask us a question. That actually goes to my phone like a text message. So if you hit that chat box, I'll get it as a text. So.
I'm telling you, when I had the Zoom meeting with Nick and we were talking about Real Animals Abyss partnership kind of growing together here, I was blown away with the app, the way Nick handled just everything about that deal. I am absolutely, and now that I met you, I'm just like, man, we have landed this plane in the perfect place. abyssbattery.com. You got to check it out. Derek DeBose, thank you so much for finding that drop there. You're just the best. I appreciate it. You could have not found that one just
no,
this
I really
one time.
appreciate you, Derek.
Yeah, exactly.
Great teamwork.
I got a little fired up.
I wanted an explanation myself.
It's good stuff. Check us out tomorrow morning, the T.A. Mahoney Company Real Animals Radio Show, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Myself, Mike Mahoney. Not sure if Ben's going to come in. We'll be talking about our morning here with Ryan, all kinds of other stuff. And if you're
too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.
Tight lines, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next week. We're out. I looked up there and I'm like, what else do I have to get in? I'm like, we got to get that in. So. Ryan, great job, bro.
Yeah, man.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Just slide
job.
on over so people can see you. You can stand up too.
Anytime. This is fun.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have you. You're in the guest.
Especially if you guys want to talk about sharks or something.
We do that too. You're in the
The
guest.
shark problem.
Yeah.
You're in the guest portal.
I was wondering how.
I actually have a story. I have stories about that.
Yeah.
So,
Like
you want to hear?
Like there's
You don't
too
think
many
that-
sharks or
No. If you talk to guys that used to dive in Florida in the 80s, they'll tell you they used to go off a lemon drop West Palm and it was just all sharks.
really?
You know, I mean, there's a reason why you can go out on all these beaches and find shark's teeth.
Yeah.
You know, because they're everywhere. And they used to be. And you look at like Asia, like Thailand, the Philippines and stuff, their entire reef system is dying because of lack of sharks, because those are the ones that pick up the trash.
Yeah.
They eat the diseased fish, the old fish, the ones that have weak genes that we don't want reproducing anyways.
Yeah.
That this, 400 million years of evolution.
Could we give them some of ours?
What?
Could we give those people some
Sharks,
of ours?
right? So they're so smart, everyone.
And I agree completely. Worldwide, there's definitely a shark population issue, but I think, like many things, the United States is really quick to be like, all right, shut it down. Everybody protect these species.
Right.
We see the same thing with amberjack. Like amberjack, we have a huge problem with amberjack, and we did all these studies, and we're finding all the amberjack in the Gulf of Mexico then go to the Caribbean.
Right.
So we can close them in our waters, but if they're going to all go to the Caribbean and get killed down there, we're not doing anything. All the regulation and rules we make are useless, and it's kind of like the same thing with sharks, in my opinion.
That's the sandbar sharks specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, they migrate really far.
Yeah, ridgeback sharks, duskies. We could close them, and they have been closed forever. We can close them all we want. It doesn't matter once they leave the Gulf of Mexico or our U.S. territorial waters. Those Chinese, Taiwanese, Japanese vessels they're fishing right off our international waters.
I do feel kind of bad for the pole fishermen because the sharks, you can blame people feeding sharks in Jupiter as affecting whatever. But they learn so quickly, and I've seen it firsthand. When I was trying to rescue a shark, we got a call when I was at the aquarium. Rescue team got a call from Clearwater PD that there's a shark swimming around with a bobber attached to it. And rescue's like, we don't want to do it. I was like, I'll do it. Give me a boat. Like, I'll go get the shark. So we find this shark, this little baby. It was a black tip, female. And we see this green bobber going. And I'm on the front of this little skiff. And I tell the boat captain, as soon as they get close, put it in neutral, and I'll net it. So you can pull these hooks out. He put it in neutral. Shark didn't do a thing. I went to go net her, and I missed. She went down. The next time we came back around, as soon as he put it into neutral, the shark went down.
Wow.
So the next time we came back around, I told him, leave it and drive. I'm just going to get it on the move. We got it on the move. They learn so quickly with sound. That's what all those sensory receptors are for, sound and water movement. That's why they go after you free divers. They love the fins. They're not going after your fish. They're going after your fins because you're spraying perfume in their face the whole time.
Yeah.
So it sucks because they learn that the noise of boats shifting into neutral, engines turning off, anchor chain, that means free food. Because you guys up on the surface with your poles, you're creating all this commotion in the water. That's like, they're like, oh yeah, food,
And
they go.
And also depth sounders in general. That's one of the
Big.
concerns with sharks and dolphins.
Right.
Is the bottom machine on a fishing boat is just like a dinner bell.
They come to the
When these guys complain about, I can't bring my fish up on the boat because these damn sharks, it's overpopulation, I'm like, learn how to spearfish. I've never once lost a fish to a shark.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
I know, that's a tough one. But
A lot of guys offshore now have come to turning off their bottom machine.
Yes.
Once they get where they want to get, they know they're on the piece, they shut it off.
I can even hear those. When I'm down diving.
Oh yeah, they're loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not like the ones we had in the Navy.
And also the outboard engines. Outboard engines going in and out of gear.
Yeah,
That's
for
loud.
sure. And it tracks them. You wonder why you go over to West Palm or, or off of Miami and you go and hit a spot and all of a sudden there's 30 sharks around you because they heard you stop.
Yeah.
They know you're going to give them a free slice of pizza.
Could we get them? Is there a way that we could teach them to eat just let's say politicians?
Right.
Do we dial them into that, and then we could just take them swimming? Oh, no,
Well, the
you're
problem
all right.
is
Sharknadoes.
they don't like the way we taste.
Yeah.
So they won't consume human meat unless they're very, very, very hungry. No, people don't get consumed by sharks.
Now, how do you know that?
Study.
Everybody knows that.
It's studies.
Look at shark attacks. Sharks will bite you once, and then they leave you alone.
Especially
There's never been
tigers
someone
and
who
stuff.
gets eaten by a shark.
But like the bulls,
They get bit by a shark.
I saw
sandbars.
Jaws, bro. I saw Jaws. I don't know.
So going back to World War II, there was a boat, the USS
Yes.
Indianapolis, I think got sunk by
160
torpedoes.
people.
Yeah.
So that specific species of shark is
White
oceanic white tips. So even if they don't like the way it tastes, they'll take a bite, swallow it, hang out until they're hungry again, take another bite. So those guys were fed upon by sharks for like 2 weeks while they were floating in the water. And they were so waterlogged that when the rescue planes finally came in and pulled those sailors out of the water, their skin came off their arms because they were so waterlogged with salt water. So oceanic whitetips are a different story. When you're in the water with them, you have to have an object to put in because they want to see what it is. Their fingers are their teeth. You know, they want to see what it is. But I've personally seen a tiger shark. They're kind of the same. I've seen a tiger shark with half of a tuna and an orange balloon go after the orange balloon because it didn't know what it was. They wanted to see what it was. So there's only a couple sharks that do that experimental biting. You know, that's when you're on the surface and you look like a turtle, you're flapping around like a turtle, surfers. You know, you might end up with a bite out of you like a turtle. So, but I grew up surfing and swimming in great white waters on San Diego and, you know, in Southern California. So
I want to swim with a great white before I die.
Yeah.
Really
there was one off of Jupiter like 2 or 3 days ago.
Great show, fellas.
Thanks, D.
Indeed, I'm out of here.
All right, man.
Take care.
See you tomorrow. Hey, we got to cut some spots tomorrow.
Okay.
I just chose not to cut them today. We'll cut them tomorh.
Okay.
So yeah, I got 3 and then
you
send
saved
them
that
to-
drop, right?
I'm trying to incorporate it in the jack wagon.
Nice.
So
Nice.
when I talk to Momola about it and get it created, I'm gonna try to put those together.
All right. Awesome, man.
Thank you, my friend.
I'm not against people eating shark feet.
What?
I'm not against people eating shark feet.
Sharks
Like
eat?
if it's sustainable, you just don't eat too much. There's a lot of mercury.
Yeah.
So
I
in
agree.
a lot of the species, but like black tips and stuff, dude, they're all over. They're sustainable.
Yeah.
But like the makos, the hammerheads,
Yeah.
stuff like that, like you kill a 12-foot hammerhead, that thing's not even sexually mature.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even start breeding until they're like 25 years old.
Mhm.
So we'll see long-term effects if we, but
But hammerheads, greater hammerheads are closed.
all
Aren't they?
the hammerheads are protected. Yeah.
Mako
Great hammerheads are
short,
cool.
short fin makos were open. Long fins are closed, but short fin makos, they're talking about closing them completely as well.
Yeah, I love great hammerheads, and they show up when I was doing commercial spearfishing. I felt like I had a homie down there.
And the hammerheads are not the ones you have to worry about in my
No,
experience.
they don't bite people.
Yeah.
Like ever.
But they get aggressive, and you have to be aggressive back towards them. Because like I had a big hammerhead. I was in the Bahamas, and I was on a reef. We were spearfishing, and this small hammerhead came up, and my cousins were with me, and they were freaked out. They got back in the boat, and I was chasing the shark, taking pictures of it, and he cruised off the reef, and I was chasing him pretty aggressively, and it sunk off the bottom of the reef. Like it went off the edge and went straight down. I was like, oh, that's weird. I pulled myself over, and there's Mama. She comes floating up.
Well,
and
no, that's not
big.
Mama. That little one was leaving because that big one you call Mama would have eaten that one.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, they don't do the mom thing.
Yeah.
As soon as those babies hatch, they are prey to everyone.
Yeah. Well, this big one came up, and I was like, oh.
They're so cool.
And I started swimming backwards, like just watching it towards the boat, and it just cruised right at my fins, basically. It followed me all the way back.
Yeah,
to the
looking
boat.
at you with both eyes, like, what
Yeah.
is this thing? They're super
Yeah.
curious.
And I stopped for a second and kind of went towards her to try to, a lot of times when you act like you're not prey, and you're aggressive, sometimes they'll back off. She just kept coming. No,
the hammerheads don't really respond that well to that because they don't have a natural predator.
Yeah.
So when you do that stuff, like bull shark, they're gone.
Yeah.
You know, like sandbars, they're gone. You show that you're willing and you're not.
Yeah.
You're not prey. The hammerheads aren't used to that because they don't have anything that's feeding on them. If you ever see a big, great hammerhead swimming sideways,
yeah,
they're literally taking a rest because their dorsal fin is so heavy they take a rest and then they sideways in the water.
Huh. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But like bull sharks, what predators do a bull shark have?
Tigers will eat bulls. Yeah. I mean, you go into orcas, like they'll eat anything.
Yeah.
You know, but they all have their different psychology, and they're all kind of they all have their own quirks. Bulls, I never get to see bulls. 2,000 drops in the Gulf, I've seen one.
A bull shark?
It's always sandbars. But I go on the internet, I look on Facebook, and this guy on the spearfishing forum is like, I was attacked by a bull shark today. And it's literally a 7-foot female sandbar shark chasing his fins up to the surface.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks the sandbars are bulls.
They're very close. They
They-
look
yeah.
pretty close.
But the sandbars have the big,
Yeah.
you know, they look like a puppy that hasn't grown into their paws.
Yeah.
And that's why they're heavily targeted for the fin suit, because their
Yeah.
fins are so big.
Well, not anymore. Sandbars have been closed forever.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But this is one of the only places in the world you can see them constantly.
Yeah.
They used to be everywhere. No, they're not anymore. And that's a deep shark, too. The males, they stay in 300 to 600 feet of water almost all year until breeding season. I've never once seen a male. I see females every time I dive.
We're going to have to do this again with it and do a whole shark show with Ryan. It's just...
No, too much controversy. I don't need any more hate. I named a shark like 2 years ago and got death threats. So.
Named a shark? What do you mean?
Like a shark that I see every day. Like I'd go out to the same spots, leading dive guides, teaching spearfishing, teaching my spearfishermen to not be afraid of sharks. Because a lot of my spearfishing class is shark awareness, shark conservation. To like realize how important these things are to the underwater ecosystem and to work with them, not against them. If you took a spearfishing class from me, I'd show you how to relax around sharks and wait until the cobia show up. Because when the sharks show up, then we got a cobia. We can smoke a cobia at our safety stop, and the sharks just watch.
Yeah.
You take your fish, you put it here. If you put it here, they're not going to go after you. Hang it down here, the opportunistic scavenger is going to get it as soon as you look away. So, they're very basic. It's all instinctual. And if you can learn those instincts, you can manipulate it. You can exploit them.
I don't know. I've been spearfishing with sharks, and I kind of like sharks, but
free diving or
putting it right a fish on my chest, I don't know about that one. That's crazy. I always trail them behind me. If they want to take the fish, I'll let them take the fish instead of me.
Oh, we still live.
Yeah, we're live. We're live. It's all good. We're wrapping things up here this morning.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
But if you go out to the middle grounds, what do you see?
I wouldn't spearfish on the middle grounds.
You got 27-inch hogfish and 600-pound bull sharks.
Yeah.
It's a healthy ass environment. Middle grounds is a funny place. You know it's built from snail shells? All those structures, they did core samples on 80 feet. It's all ancient snails. Those islands, they used to be above the water. And they were islands over millions and millions of years of snails dying. It's all held together by snail shells.
What?
That's why you have those 40-foot, 60-foot reliefs, yeah.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Check it out. It's not, no one cares.
Yeah.
You know, people that care are college students, they're, this is interesting. I want to be a biologist. But
no, that is interesting.
Because it's kind of almost like a...
So like the whole thing is a giant escargot?
I guess.
Way to boil that down, Mike.
You got to simplify this stuff for me. I'm the least bright person here, so...
That's crazy. Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, snails cruised around for a long time.
So the sandbar shark problem is on the East Coast too, though.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know if the problem thing to me is like I'm just spearfishing.
Yeah.
But sandbar sharks are.
It's not a problem to you because you spearfish and you know how to act around sharks and you're used to them.
Right.
But it's a problem for everybody else who spearfishes and don't like sharks, or fishermen with poles, for goodness sakes.
But you go back
able to catch a fish
before the blue collar community could get offshore boats and stuff.
My grandfather was doing it before there was like motors, and they didn't have shark problems like
out
they do
there.
Today. Yeah,
man, guys I've talked to said that the lemon sharks off of like Jupiter, West Palm, and the east coast of Florida was insane.
Really?
Yeah, just shoulder to shoulder lemon sharks.
Crazy. I believe that. I mean, Jupiter's a total shithole. I'm just kidding. My friends, Mike Dixon is from Jupiter and some charter captains. In the Marine Resource Education program, they always talk about how Jupiter is the sport fishing capital of the world. And then in the next breath, they talk about how they can't land fish in Jupiter because the shark problem's so bad. I'm like, sounds like a great place to fish.
Listen, I see all the sport fishers out there, and they're like 5-6 miles out farther than the divers. Mm-hmm. They have sharks out there too, because that's deep.
And in Jupiter, they talk all the time about how they can't land fish because of the shark problem.
We've had shark problems in the Keys. The Keys will get you too.
Yeah, I think I heard the shark problem in the Keys has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
One thing I heard the other day is that there's the shark feeding and the shark tours and stuff. That's one subject, but the problem is that guys are they're getting like Freedom Boat Club boats.
Yeah.
And they're taking their own stuff out and going out and doing these, their own shark dives and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're reinforcing the motor noise to foods itself.
Yeah. Habitualization.
I gotta play devil's advocate here, and hit both sides. I love the sharks. I love the conservation. I went to college to be a game warden, but I also like to kill fish. So
yeah, it's a delicate balance.
Yeah,
conservation and also access.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, Mike has to go to the gym, guys.
That's not like a bad thing to me. Ryan Wiggins, Abyss Battery. You got to check this place out. Super, super cool people. Just really, really knowledgeable. It's going to be a great partnership. We're looking forward to it big time.
Thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 to 9. And tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. And hopefully we'll see you at Seafood Festival. And for the Sunday night live stream show, we got January 31st at Bartow, January 22nd at Bass Pro. So we'll see you out there soon. And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too busy.
We will have the live stream up tomorrow. Derek's got it set up, so we will be live streaming the show tomorrow. So make sure you tune in there and send us your questions and comments as well. Have a great weekend.
Sunday live streams are back.
Woo!
Good job.
Woo!
Hey, did you guys see that thing back in the 80s when they blew up that whale